Yes, Kinra, you go ahead and start your music, and you can.
She's muted.
So everybody, please mute, and Kinra is going to show her dance. And I don't know.
Hi everyone, my name is Kinera. So I'm gonna do a dance performance on the song Aigiri Nandini. Thank you.
गिरिनन्दिनि नन्दितमेदिनि विश्वविनोदिनि नन्दनुते गिरिवरविन्द्यशिरोधिनि वासिनि विष्णुविलासिनि जिष्णुनुते भगवति हेशिति कण्ठकुटुम्बिनि भूरि कुटुम्बिनि भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते सुरवरवर्षिणि दुर्धरधर्षिणि दुर्मुखमर्षिणि हर्षरते त्रिभुवनपोषिणि शङ्करतोषिणि कल्मषमोषिणि घोषरते तनुजनिरोषिणि दिविसुतरोषिणि दुर्मदशोषिणि सिन्धुसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते अयि जगदम्ब मदम्ब कदम्ब वनप्रियवासिनि हासरते शिखरि शिरोमणि तुङ्ग हिमालय शृङ्गनिजालय मध्यगते मधुमधुरे मधुकैटभगञ्जिनि कैटभभञ्जिनि रासरते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते
Thank you. Can you close that one? Thank you, Kinra. So, can you guys hear my voice?
Yes, Uncle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful and energetic performance. That was truly a wonderful way to begin our celebration. Thank you. So now I'm going to share one more song. Can you hear?
Every scar became a story. Every no became a door. We were told to keep it quiet, but we don't do that anymore. Look at every woman standing. Look how far we really came. We're not waiting for permission. We already lit the fire. Can you feel it in the air now? Something's shifting, something's changing. Happy Women's Day. This is our day to every woman watching. We rise strong. Mothers, daughters, sisters, strangers, every woman in this fight. We don't need a crown to lead. We already own the light. Can you feel it in the air now? Something's shifting, something's changing. Happy Women's Day. This is our day to every woman watching. We rise strong and unafraid. We won't look away. Happy Women's Day. This is our day. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, 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 we rise. This one's for you. For the ones who kept on going when the world said stay in place. We kept showing up, kept growing, and we're never giving up the space. Happy Women's Day. This is our day to every woman watching. We rise strong and unafraid. We won't look away. Happy Women's Day. This is our day. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, 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 we rise. Oh, this is our day.
Thank you. Th- th- th-
I just saved on my car insurance for driving.
Thank you for that inspiration song. It beautifully captures our today's theme. Learn, lead, lift. And the strength of women coming together to support one another. That was truly beautiful, reminding us of the resilience, courage, and collective strength of women across generations. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Central Florida Indian Community, CFIC, I warmly welcome each one of you to our International Women's Day Zoom celebration. It's truly wonderful to see so many of you joining us today as we come together to celebrate the strength, resilience, and contributions of women in our families, communities, and society. This year's theme, Learn, Lead, Lift, reflects the journey of women across generations, learning through experiences, leading with courage, and lifting one another along the way. Today's session brings together powerful real-life stories along with valuable insights from our experts panel who already joined, covering important topics such as women health, mental well-being, legal awareness, safety, and community support. Our goal is to create a space where we can learn, reflect, and support one another, because when women come together, real change begins. We encourage everyone to participate actively. If you have questions, please feel free to share them in the chat during this session. Before we move forward, I would like to thank all of participants who joined so far and our experts panel who joined, and each one of you for being part of this meaningful celebration. And now I would like to invite our moderator, Madhurima Paturi, attorney, to take us through the rest of today's program.
Yeah.
Over to you, Madhurima garu.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
What's in the
Thank
middle?
you for the CFIC even thinking about the thought that you want to celebrate the Women's Day event, and just honoring all the women and the men who are encouraging the women. And kudos to you, Srinivas Garu, for always thinking upfront about the community and the safety, and thinking about what's next for our community. So, well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for all being here. It's a truly honor to gather and celebrate Women's History Month, a time to recognize the strength, resilience, and achievements of women across generations. Today feels even more special because we are surrounded by South Asian women, women who carry rich traditions, strong family values, and powerful stories. Many of us have grown up balancing multiple identities, navigating expectations at home while building our own paths in the world. From chai conversations in our kitchens to conversations like this on stage and breaking the glass ceilings in the boardrooms, right? We've come a long way. I know a lot of my friends are in the screen today, and I'm very proud of it. Walking with them together in the Central Florida community, and yet there is still so much to share, learn, and uplift together, right? And thank you to all the audience who can able to join. I personally believe that we all have stories to share, and with a limited time we can only talk to few people today, but I wish we can carry these conversations in the future. So I'm truly excited to moderate this discussion and hear from our interval panelists today. And as you see the flyer, Srinivas Garu put it very wonderful panel out there where we can discuss any topics which is very comfortable to the internal medicine, to the lot of still yet to accept in our community mental health space. And also, I'm very, very happy and proud how this panel and this day is put together. I strongly believe inclusion matters. It's not just the woman we celebrate. We have to celebrate the men who are helping us to be successful and walking with us. I don't believe in men behind women, women behind the men. I think we have to walk together. Inclusion matters. Inclusion is the one where we have to create. We have to stop creating and taking the turns, right? So when we are growing up, everybody's talking about the woman has to be like this, man has to be like that. Now everybody is telling that woman is too independent as the man is behind it. Why are we taking turns? If I have to say anything to moderate and lead this thing today, this morning, I think inclusion is the word we need to carry on. We need to raise our boys and the girls with their strengths and accept what's coming and be prepared for it. So being said that, and I have a wonderful, wonderful panelists here. Welcome everyone, and I'm looking forward to hear your expertise today. And if I can, I just want to introduce a little bit about each panelist. We'll start with Dr. Udita. She's a gynecologist in Central Florida area, and she trained at Tulane Medical in New Orleans. And she done her medical school with Seth GS Medical and Chem Hospital, Mumbai. And her special interests are Da Vinci minimally invasive surgery. Welcome, Dr. Jagadar.
Thank you.
And we have Dr. Naka, and who is also a good friend of me, and she's a board certified neurologist. And I'm sorry, I'm talking about Manda. Sorry about that.
That's not me.
And Shushma can also introduce herself too.
No, go ahead. It's okay. Yeah.
Trying to find your bio, madam.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can pitch in, Madhuri, but can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I'm Sushma Manda is the last name. I know Sushma Naka is also my friend. Thank you for everyone. I'm a board certified neurologist and transformation coach. So I leave it there and I'll let Madhurima continue the next introductions. I'll see you all soon, shortly.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, that feel free. We can all introduce yourself too, And I don't know, Shushma Naka should be. Yeah, Shushma is here.
Yeah.
Dr. Naka, good morning.
Good morning, Madhu, and all the friends that I see. I'm a medical oncologist, and I'm a chief of oncology at Hollis Cancer Center in Lakeland. And I'm also on the board of Flasco, Florida Society of Medical Oncology. I'm here to talk about and discuss with you all what is going on with the cancer screening and what are the recommendations, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And we also have the Dr. Manjula Kotapalli. Good morning, Ms. Kotapalli.
Hi, good morning. Really honored to be here with the elite group of panelists. Thank you, Srinivas Garu. My name is Manjula Kotapalli. I'm a double-boarded psychiatrist and child psychiatrist. I practice in Central Florida, trained at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland. I've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm really excited to talk about South Asian women, their mental health, how they're raising kids and their children's mental health, the increase of suicides in our community. I've been mentoring medical students, residents, UCF students, the whole panel. And I have the luxury of seeing kids as young as 4 to all the way till late 80s. So I see the whole spectrum. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think it's a very important topic discussed today. And we also have Dr. Nilima Katukuri. Is she here? We're not. Okay.
I don't think she joined. I don't see her.
Okay. Do we have Javani Trivedi?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you
Could
so
somebody
much.
introduce yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Dwani Trivedi. I'm a director in a large aerospace and defense company, L3 Harris, and work out of Melbourne. But really, my personal passion is, being an advocate for women's growth. Today, I plan to talk about just how we achieve personal growth and financial freedom and confidence, and really the power of community and mentorship. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the wonderful panelists and being part of this conversation.
Thank you, Ms. Trivedi. And do we have Dr. Nalini Odupalli? Nalini? Okay.
She's on
And
mute.
okay, she's there. Okay.
Now I'm audible.
Okay, Nalini, welcome.
Thank you and welcome everyone. Thank you, Srinivas Garu, for putting this all together. Many faces are new. Some of you I'll be knowing today. And my name is Nalini, as it says, Nalini Om or Nalini Odapalli, either one of them. I am a professor of biology and mind yoga teacher. Happy to be here.
Thank you. And welcome. We look forward to hear about the yoga. And last not the least, but it's very powerful in the public safety field and the sector. Welcome, Deputy Satish Mahajan.
Thank you very much. Again, congratulations for holding an event like this on an annual basis. My name is Satish Mahajan. I've been volunteering as a deputy now. I'm a reserve deputy sheriff with Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Today, I won't be speaking officially as a sheriff's deputy, otherwise I'd be in uniform. But with my experience of about 10 years or more now as a deputy sheriff, I get involved with a lot of the issues that happen within our community. And I look forward to talking more about domestic violence, dating violence. What does that mean? What are the options available? And what steps we can take to prevent some of the issues that occur in our society. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. And looking forward to have a great discussion with all of you. Before we start on our discussion, I wanted to introduce to all of you, there's a powerful story waiting for all of us to be heard. Pavani, if you are ready, you can go ahead and start reading your story.
Hi, everyone. I take this as an absolute privilege to be able to speak and share my story. I'm not here today as an expert or an attorney, but as a mother living through this reality, someone who I never imagined that I would have to fight this hard and for this long just to protect my child and myself. And I know I'm not alone. I was born in India, but I grew up here. I chose my partner. This was not an arranged marriage. I share this because there's a common misconception that situations like this only happens in certain kind of families or an arranged marriage kind of situation. But the truth is, it sadly can happen to anyone. And for many of us, what keeps us silent is the shame, the fear of what people will say, or the fear of bringing shame to our families. And to that, I say shame must change sides and be where it belongs, and that is with the perpetrators. The fear can make us stay longer than we should, endure more than we should, and believe things will change if we just try harder, give more, or love more. I know that because I lived it for years, believing that things would change, and they didn't. They escalated, and I had to face a painful truth because what I believed was a partnership was actually not. It was a means to an end to a person who saw it as a way through the citizenship process. And by the time I fully understood that, years had gone by. Because abuse is not always visible. From the outside, everything looks quite normal, but behind closed doors, it's a deeply disturbing reality. And even after leaving, it doesn't always stop. The control continues in different forms, and the threats continue, not just towards me, but also towards my family. There were moments I found myself begging just to spend a couple of hours with my child on his birthday, and this person refused. Because it's not about what is best for the child, it's about control and using what hurts the most. For women like me, oftentimes the fight is about our children. Every decision we make, every step we take, every time we show up, it is for them because we're not fighting to win, we're fighting to protect. Before this, many of us were simply just mothers, raising our children, building our lives, never imagining that we would need to document our lives like evidence or that our decisions would be examined so closely. And what makes it even harder is this, that so much of what we experience, if not all, happens behind closed doors, without witnesses, without records. And when you try to explain it's just not about what you know, it's about what you can prove. And that gap is incredibly frustrating. But even then, we keep going. For me, the reason is quite simple. It's my child. He keeps me grounded. He keeps me moving forward, even when everything feels overwhelming. This journey affects everything: sleep, focus, my peace. And I learned you can't go through this without taking care of yourself. Coping is not weakness, rest is not giving up. It's what allows us to keep going. For me, that meant leaning on my faith, finding small moments to pause, allowing myself to reset, even on the hardest days. Because this is not a short journey, it requires endurance. Another turning point in all of this was speaking up. Because the moment I did, I realized I was not alone. My family stood by me, my friends showed up, and the bruises, the marks, and the things that once I tried to explain away, they finally had context. And I also found support through Srinivas Garu, through the CFIC organization during one of the most difficult times. All this kind of support changes everything. It truly reminds you that you are not alone. And if there's one thing I could say, I would say that don't go through this alone. Reach out, speak up, because this is not just one story. This is something many women are quietly navigating every day. And through all of this, one question never leaves. What is this doing to my child? Because even when we try to protect them, they feel it. But in all of this, something else happens too. You grow, not in a way I would have chosen, not in a way I would have wanted, but in a way that stays with us. We become stronger, more aware, more resilient. There's a realization of how much we are capable of caring because we refuse to give up on our children. Despite everything, we keep going, we keep showing up, we keep doing what we believe is right because our children are worth it. And I want to leave everybody with this. We were never meant to fight this hard just to feel safe. But we do, and we do every day. We carry this weight, and we still choose to show up for our children, not because it's easy, not because we're not tired, but because giving up is not an option, because our children are watching, because they're learning what strength looks like, because they quite frankly deserve a lot better. So even when it feels overwhelming, unfair, or too much, we keep going, we keep speaking up, we keep standing up, we keep choosing better for them. Because in the end, this is not just about what we are going through, it's about the future we're building for our children. And that future depends on what we're willing to fight for today. And that to me is worth everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavani, for sharing such a deeply personal and powerful real story. What stayed with us most is what you said. We are not fighting to win. We are fighting to protect. Your journey shows that strength is not always loud. It is the quiet decision to keep going every single day for your child. Your courage, resilience, and unwavering love are truly inspiring. At the same time, your story also highlights how important support systems are through the strength of family, friends, and organizations like CFIC and SECTI, which can provide guidance, understanding, and the support needed to keep moving forward. Your story reminds us that no one should ever have to go through this alone, and your voice will give strength and hope to many others. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavani. You are a true hero and a great way to start today. How much as a woman you went through and a resilient mother, and throughout the journey you became a strong leader and led the example for all of us that we can get through the things, right? And thank you for sharing it. It needs a lot of courage to share the story, and you are the true hero today, and kudos to you. And
Thank you.
truly said that there is so many resources out there. You don't have to lead this journey by yourself, and don't wait until you become a victim of that problem. There is so many resources out there. We just need to follow. And a lot of times we feel like there's a lot of information out there and less practiced until it comes to you. And we need to start practicing. That's where we have experts today saying that how we can take care of ourselves to be strong and plan and be ready for something we didn't plan in our life, right? So I'm so thankful that you shared this story, and I'm sure everybody connected to Pavani's story, and it gives us more strength to live today, that there are the people not going in the same journey, but we wanted to work together to be the best we can. And I know that given the time sense, we have few of the guests has to leave very early. I wanted to focus on those people who has to leave really early. Dr. Udita Jehdev, thank you so much again for joining, and looking forward to hear from you. One of the question I have, and maybe a lot of people has here, the question is, we've been hearing a lot about the PCOD and PCOS, especially in the South Asian community. Is that something more it's a genetical, it's happening only for more for Indians and South Asians? Do you see with your clients? And what is that you want to educate us on that, or anything that you see more common with the change of the trends and the health and the generations? You see something very common with the women nowadays.
Thank you, Ms. Paturi. And thank you, Pavani, for that very powerful presentation. It stays deep in your heart and it's an inspiration to all of us. Srini, Central Florida Indian Community, this is just a spectacular event, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. So, what I was going to present briefly, and then I will talk about polycystic ovary syndrome, is just something called a well woman exam. So, briefly, this is an annual preventive exam which is focused on gynecology and reproductive system and general health. And it really gives everyone a unique opportunity to convey with a medical professional and discuss not only issues relating to general health, but also certain private, intimate topics, even to the extent of domestic issues that was just presented. This may be awkward in an otherwise situation. So when one comes for a well woman exam, there is a questionnaire, and anybody going for that, I would encourage you to fill that. And that is a question which relates to your own family history, your medical history, your medications, the obstetric history, any allergies, vaccination, social history, sexual, and also mental history. And it involves a physical exam, thyroid, breast, and I will not go into this in great detail, pelvic exam, and a pap smear. And then, of course, there is the discussion that follows based on, say, family history of breast ovarian cancer. What can you do to prevent? A personal history of multiple surgeries, of pain, possible endometriosis, what can be done. Also, as mentioned, polycystic ovary syndrome, and what is the age group? And the age group can start at 13 years of age. And this is the time when a well exam involves just meet and greet. So I would encourage mothers to bring in their young daughters, even at this age. And it may not be just a gynecologist, it could also be a family practice person or your internist who may be interested in performing well woman exam. And many young girls have questions about their body. They hear of polycystic ovary syndrome. They feel they're getting overweight. They're getting a little more hair in certain parts. And it's better that they are able to talk to a medical professional, because otherwise they will go to social media or be talking to your friends. You know that. Then as they get older, you're in your 20s, and then we have questions about contraception. There is a wide variety. What is suitable for a person? You also have a young couple coming in, and that's where, as Ms. Paturi mentioned, that a man and woman work together. So the spouse can come in during this exam and have questions about sexuality, sexual dysfunction, how to look forward to conceiving. Later on, you have questions about menstrual issues, about problems like heavy periods or pain, and even postmenopausally, after menopause, the common feeling is that you do not need to get any exam at all. But that's untrue, because a lot of things happen after menopause. And of course, if there is bleeding or pain, you will see a doctor. But a well woman exam is a preventive exam, and you come in and we can examine and see if there is prolapse or if there are issues with the bladder, issues with vaginal dryness, issues which are maybe leading to symptoms such as urinary tract problems. So all this can be detected and prevented. So it's a very useful exam. It's usually covered by most insurances, and it really gives you a unique opportunity to contact a medical professional and discuss your problems in a non-threatening scenario. Now, to answer your question of polycystic ovary, you hear this word very commonly, and it's not necessarily more common in the South Asian population. It involves basically irregular periods, a tendency to put on weight, excessive hair, excess androgens in their body, which may show up as excess facial hair or darkening of skin around the neck, um, and a tendency to gain weight. And on pelvic ultrasound, sometimes we see small cysts on the ovaries, which are basically unruptured eggs, which lead to irregular periods. The management of this would be with diet, with weight reduction, medications such as metformin and spironolactone, and sometimes birth control pills. So again, a young teenager who's facing this problem, uh, she can come in and discuss these issues during a well-woman visit instead of just conjecturing or having this fear that she is turning into somebody who has polycystic ovary syndrome. So I would encourage the well woman visit. And the well woman visit involves, again, the breast exam, a mammogram, pap smear. And it's not just a pap smear, it's just the ability to discuss these things and kind of catch certain subtle changes in a person's makeup before it becomes a problem. So I think I'll stop here because I know there's a huge panel, and then we'll wait for questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jagdar. That's really important. Well, women's exam, you reminded all of us that we are constantly putting on that side, right? We'll take care of that next year, but it's so important to take care of those things. And thank you for reminding that. I will move on the conversation to with Dr. Naka. What is that you're seeing common cancer diagnosis? I guess if anything, you have to specifically talk about the South Asian woman, that how we delay in getting this early screenings, which is very important, right? If we can just shower your expertise on that, what should we be checking? Do we have to wait for some signs, or do you think that that's something like a wellness woman exam every year? Do we have to also check the signs for the cancer, or anything you want to put together in the South Asian woman perspective?
Absolutely, Madhu. It is not just everyone, even I procrastinate in terms of doing stuff for myself. So we're talking about prevention of cancer, screening for cancers. But since it's a women's group, we're going to talk about breast cancer, and we're going to talk about gynecologic cancers, which is cervical and ovarian and endometrial cancer. So for breast cancer, every woman is at risk for breast cancer, and we have to follow the screening guidelines. And I have seen young Indian women develop breast cancer, and also, it is a cancer of age as you age. So as you age, it is important to follow the screening guidelines. So for breast cancer, the screening involves having a mammogram done at an early age between 40 to 49. The recommendation is every other year. And after 50 to 74, it is every year. So it is important to follow these guidelines because you catch the cancer early and when it is treatable and possibly curable. But there are also certain women who tend to have higher risk of breast cancer, especially obese women in menopausal age. These are the women that tend to develop breast cancer, but also have higher morbidity with the treatment and mortality as well. So obesity is one of the risk factors, and it is important that you follow guidelines for exercise and no smoking. That reduces the risk of breast cancer. Most recently, I've been asked about hormone replacement therapy in women and how that affects breast cancer risk. So, for years, women going through menopause have used hormone replacement therapy, stopped using hormone replacement therapy because there were guidelines that it increased risk of breast cancer. So many years ago, there was a big clinical trial, Women's Health Initiative, and in that there was high risk of breast cancer with hormone replacement therapy. But most recently, that recommendation has changed because nowadays we use low estrogen hormone replacement therapy. And estrogen itself, estrogen only hormone replacement therapy is not a high risk for breast cancer. And in fact, low dose estrogen and progestin, which is now we are using synthetic progestin, that also helps with heart conditions. So hormone replacement therapy should be evaluated in every woman who is going through postmenopause and needing some support. And if we're going to talk about cervical cancer, this is one thing that I wanted to let all the women know. Cervical cancer is caused by HPV. It is a virus. So there is screening, which is pap smear, but also there is a vaccine. Okay, so the vaccine is HPV vaccine, and it is recommended for women and men 9 to 45 years of age. It is hard to prevent getting HPV, but the vaccine helps prevent the development of cervical cancer. So it is important to have all our kids age between 9 and up to 45 years get vaccinated, because once you develop HPV, there is a huge time gap before you develop cervical cancer. So, so you cannot prevent HPV, but vaccine prevents development of cervical cancer. I also would like to mention about ovarian cancer and endometrial cancer. Anyone who develops postmenopausal bleeding should be evaluated by a gynecologist or an ultrasound of the pelvis to look for ovarian and endometrial cancer. There is no standard guidelines for ovarian cancer, and usually if you have a family history, that's a big sign that you might want to start screening, and that involves pelvic ultrasound and GYN exam and watching for early symptoms such as menopausal bleeding, abdominal pelvic pain, especially around 50 and over. So that's where I would like to stop, but I will be happy to take questions.
Thank you, Dr. Shushma. And I think that it is a great topic that needs more education and probably a continuous conversation between the Dr. Udita and Dr. Shushma. I just feel like there's so much that we all have to learn. We are not in the medical field. These are all seems like very important, but obviously, if you delay with annual women's exam, we probably miss out all these early signs too, right? These are all connected to each other. Thank you so much. I personally don't know. There's so many other cancers that we need to learn, especially I think it seems like a lot of them are connected to the perimenopause and postmenopause, taking with the hormones and even without not taking the hormones. I think that it's a great conversation. I think that personally, I think that I like to have these conversations. Maybe we can have one more seminar either with the CFIC or something in the community. But definitely, thank you for both of you. This is a very, very important topic that all the women out there that we need to get educated. Before we move on to the next panelist, let's hear one more powerful story. This is a story about Tara, but Tara is not sharing. Rohini is going to read on behalf of Tara. And Rohini, are you ready?
Yeah, Madhurima, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. I'm Rohini Bandaru. I'm a real estate agent in Orlando area. So I'm here to share the story of Tara. Tara, for some reason, she couldn't attend the meeting today, and she shared her story with CFIC, and I'm gonna read it behalf of her. So, hello, everyone. My name is Tara, And I want to share my real life journey, a journey that began with happiness, dreams, and strong family values. I was born into a loving middle class family. My father is a businessman, my mother's a homemaker, and I have a younger sister with whom I share a deep bond. Growing up, I was happy, confident, and taught to value independence and personal growth. My life was peaceful, filled with dreams for the future. I believed in love, respect, and companionship. I trusted my
जीन्स के साथ अच्छा लगता है ये It's like
I trusted
casual-ish.
my family's decision in my arranged marriage, stepping into it with hope, believing it would bring happiness. But everything changed in a single day. I discovered my husband was already married in the USA, and his divorce was not finalized. My marriage was built on lies and betrayal. I was emotionally shattered. I left behind my family, my home, and everything familiar, moving to a completely new country with hope in my heart. I had no support system there and trusted my husband completely. But within just 2 days, I was forced to work at a gas station, juggling studies, household responsibilities, and work with no care for my health or well being. I felt isolated, overwhelmed, and helpless. The abuse didn't stop. I faced constant dowry demands, emotional and verbal use, and daily humiliation from my husband and his family. There were even incidents of physical violence. I began losing my confidence, my identity, and my inner peace, and yet I stayed silent, fearing society, protecting my family, and hoping things would change. Gradually, I realized this was not love, it was abuse. I understood that I deserved respect, dignity, and peace. I started coping by writing down my thoughts, reminding myself that none of this was my fault. I learned that healing takes time, and every day I survived was a victory. It was hard to speak up at first. Visiting police stations and courts terrified me. But step by step, I came to realize there are people who genuinely care, some who listened without judgment, and some who guided me through the toughest situations. The support from CFIC community gave me emotional strength, helping me understand that I am not alone. I learned my rights, found my voice, and gained confidence. What once scared me became my strength. I realized that true strength means standing up even when you're afraid, and I chose courage over fear. Today, I stand as a survivor, not a victim. I have rebuilt my life, stronger, braver, and wiser. My pain did not break me, it made me stronger. My story became my source of power, and if sharing it can help even one woman, it has served its purpose. To every woman listening today, you are not alone. Your life, dignity, and happiness matter. You deserve respect in every relationship. Do not tolerate abuse in the name of love or marriage. Speak up, seek support, and remember that choosing yourself is not, it is necessary. Life can break you, but it can also rebuild you. Pain can transform you. Every day you survive is a victory. You are stronger than your circumstances, and your courage can light the way, not just for yourself, but for others too. Thank you. This was her story.
Thank you, Rohini, for reading that. And thank you to Tara for sharing this, right? And it's so true. The word survivor means a lot. It's not we talk about we are victims for it. The people who are going through the issue is still a survivor because it's not just you're facing a problem, you're also constantly trying to see that how you can come out of it. So the word survivor means it's more than just I'm dealing with that, but I also dealing with more pride and leadership trying to come out of it. Thank you for sharing that story. So let's shift our dialogue from the woman's health and the cancer to the more important other organ, which is brain, right? So let's welcome Dr. Manda. tell us about why the brain health is so important, and it's very important to the woman to start thinking about it very early. What is that you see specifically with the South Asian woman, or any stigma around it about the brain health?
Yes, Madhurima, thank you for bringing this up, and thank you, Srinivas Garu, and everyone for this opportunity. And Pavani and everyone else sharing their stories. It makes me feel proud to belong to a community where actually they started to open up and share in the benefit of others, and that's a great intention. So I'm from South India, Telugu speaking, Hyderabad. So with the South Indian women, I know there's something called invisible contracts, right? Most of you probably know what they are. They're contracts, but they're not visible. And like you have to be a good daughter, good wife, good mother. And if not, so and so. If not, you're judged. If not, you're misunderstood. So that itself is a beginning of our silence. So we got silenced with those expectations, and we thought that that silence was our strength, but it's actually a survival pattern. And what we did unknowingly is we programmed our brains. So when we program them so deep for so many years, suddenly when you face a situation, you think that's normal. It takes a lot of personal development to figure out that that is not normal and there's a way out of it, and to see the other side. The other thing is guilt. Everything that we do is guilt for working, guilt for not working, guilt for resting, guilt for not resting. So we're just not clear, and this is again programmed. So brain health is important in a way to rewire those programs. And I'm bringing today that unique topic, not stroke prevention in women, not anything else, but I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go deeper about this particular part of the brain health, why this rewiring of the patterns and the programs is so important for us to even open the door to receive everything that's out there: yoga, any personal development, spiritual work, how to integrate this neuroscience with the Vedic wisdom that we are all rooted in, and the neuroscience. You know, there is evidence. There is evidence of what the prefrontal cortex does when you're burnt out, what the amygdala, the fear center, does when you're burnt out. And when you're happy, what does the brain do? There are studies, functional MRIs showing the brain waves. This particular conference is not enough time for me to expand on the scope of all that, but just want to share that that's the root of what I built for my own passion to share with the community in need is a company called Potential You. Madhurima, may I have permission to share my screen?
Sure.
Are you able to see my screen?
Now you can do
Okay.
it, Dushman.
I think now you have permission to do.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So there is a little adjustment that I need to make. Sorry about this. But this is, if you're able to see this, this is what I had built, a company called Potential You, and my practice product that I'm offering for everyone is the Masterpiece Practice. Can you see it, Srinivas Garu?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes.
And what it is this is beyond the standard protocols out there. I'm not a therapist. I have trained myself, got certified in transformation and life coaching, where I want to design or architect people's lives, or redesign, I want to say. Who am I to design, right? It's divine design. But I want to help them re-architect their lives in a way it makes sense to their own heart, on purpose. So this is a slide. I don't think I'm doing a good job in sharing the screen, but bear with me.
You can also share with us. We can put it in the group also later.
Are you able to see the whole slide?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, in a nutshell, this is the prefrontal cortex, which we all probably heard, the CEO of the brain that makes the decisions and judgments, critical decisions of our life, day-to-day life, at work and in life, personal life as well. And the second half is the amygdala. That's the fear center that makes you very defensive, makes you very fearful of the situations. You react instead of responding. If that is activated. So when do we have the prefrontal cortex activated? When is the amygdala activated? It all depends on how your nervous system is regulated. So that is what I'm talking about. The nervous system regulation is a word that is used so often in social media and coaching programs, but for South Indian community, it is very unique. It is not the same because of the programs that we have developed within ourselves. And so what I actually designed is a neural vitals check. These are all the free tools that are available on my website, potentialyou.com. Please feel free to go there and click on the gift section, download the vitals check. It assesses, it gives you score to your own nervous system, where you are at right now. Are you eroded? Are you depleted? Or are you aligned? And then there is an activation that I personally created and guided. This is also free. There is nothing to pay, and I would love for you all to experience it. This is to cancel the noise that is created. For example, just as I went through my relationship losses, my financial losses, education did not matter. Nothing matters. When you're dysregulated at your nervous system, nothing matters. Then you cannot cancel the noise. So after going through personal development with a lot of resistance, I suddenly started to experience the joy of life and the passion of the soul only when I built wall. And that wall is the neural firewall. So please enjoy it and learn whatever you can and apply to your own life. Every little noise matters, including your people around you, the loved ones who are judging you when you're in crisis. That is a noise. And you should be able to block that noise for you to live your purpose, right? Yeah. And so the name of the practice is a masterpiece practice. This is a masterpiece foundation course that I created that goes through the actual evidence, the functional MRI scans, actual real evidence and research papers proving what I just said makes sense, and it is tangible, it's measurable. It's not a woo-woo stuff. And the next one is a very, very dear to me. I created another activation called Co-Creation Kriya. It's not all about activations, but this is one of them. This is divine union. You hear this all the time, and why I'm a neurologist talking about this divine union, right? Co-creation relationships. Dating, as Mr. The Dilip has brought in the concept of dating, our children had gotten a wrong concept of dating because, and we don't blame them. It's the social media and lack of our education to them to audit their energy first. So this activation guides anyone 18 plus to guide their internal energy and make them aware of the two energies within each person, whether it's male or female. We're talking about Shiva, Shakti energies rooted in our culture, masculine and feminine energies. That term is probably very common to your ears, but what that means to us in our culture, what needs to change, how to receive those energies within oneself, how to see them in the other person, and how it can change your relationships. I'm not saying that every relationship has to be exited. There are situations that relationship need to be exited, but there's beyond that. Going into a relationship with expectations is what our children are learning. And then not going into the relationship with expectations is a game changer. And that's the bottom line of this activation. So, and this is a simple slide showing everything that you can experience on the in my space, potentialu.com. I will share the slides with Srinivas Garu after the presentation. I know I want to respect everyone else's time. So there's my contact information there. I think I covered most of it, Madhurima, in terms of
Well,
uniqueness to
yeah, thank you so
South.
much, and thank you for giving us this the tools. Especially, it's free, so we can all explore on this. And before you leave, I'm going to catch you on the point that you mentioned, which every woman or even the man probably goes through here. You started with a word called guilt. Believe me or not, we all go through every single day, especially a woman and a South Asian woman. And the South Asian woman who works constantly goes through more guilt than anybody else, regardless of what degrees you have, how much you're professional. We go guilt every day, especially the mothers with the little kids. Feels like we are not balancing. So if we have to leave with one tip, how we can make ourselves feel, I'm not saying that guilt is going to go away, right? But making feel us that we are still doing the right thing, we are doing our best. What is that you tell to our brains what we can take away?
Great question, Madhurima. And I don't think I have one single answer for that, but I will do my best. What I learned hard way is expectations and percentages of how much I should do, how much he should do, right? So it doesn't matter. If on a day when I can do 80%, I will do it. And and on a day when my partner says, I can't do 80% today, I will pitch in the remaining gap. So there's that itself is one of the things that will take away that guilt. It's speaking about relationship examples. And every feeling has to be embraced, whether it's guilt or whether it's fear, any feeling, just embrace it. Make it a friend first. Analyze it. Reflect on it. Always it goes to the bottom that you don't know, you don't want to admit in the beginning, but something else comes to surface. And when you surrender to the journey of reflecting, finding the bottom, the root, and coming back to it, the guilt doesn't feel like guilt anymore. So it's the expectation, remove the expectations from other person, including your children. Children 20 plus or 18 plus, they can't be any expectations. They are independent adults. I mean, age is something that society had set, but when their prefrontal cortex is mature, you don't have expectations from them. You have gratitude to them, they should have gratitude to you. Then there won't be guilt that you're not an enough parent. So just like that, you move through life, navigate through life with these kind of principles. I'll be happy to teach them or guide them to anyone.
I think
that
it's a very, very important topic, you know.
Yeah.
And but you end up very positive note. Guilt can go away with gratitude, right? You know, the both with starts with the same letter. Thank you so much. I think that
Yes.
in this time of the era of the woman, I think that we all constantly feel like we are not doing enough for other people. Forget about self-care. People think that self-care is a selfish, right? But no, as we all know very well about this, put mask on yourself before you take care of others. But when it comes to practicality, we completely forget about it. Our mind constantly thinks about other people than ourselves. I'm so glad you're ready to express your knowledge with the community. I think that maybe Srinivas Garu should take it more seriously on this. Maybe we can have just you as one session as a speaker. I think that this is something we all need to hear about the brain.
I would love to, Madhurima. Thank you. But I want to say one last line, one sentence to the men out there. Shiva Shakti principles are rooted in my courses and my knowledge in life, so much in the last 3-4 years. And to all the men out there, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being the protector and provider. And just coming back to the science, neuroscience, women's brains are more thicker in terms of communicating the connectivity between two halves of the brain. So for us, if something happens with children, it's not just the children. We think about everything around it. But men's brain are wired to compartmentalize. So that's why they're silent But there's so much goes on inside. They just compartmentalize it, and they feel that being vulnerable is weakness. So my program is open for women and men because ultimately both of them need to be peaceful to make this happen in anything, whether they're married or not. We could be co-creating in this universe at work and everywhere. All right, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Harmony is the word.
Harmony, yes.
Thank you, Sushma Garu.
Thank
And
you,
we
Srinivas.
take care of everything, okay? Healthy diet concept and all those things. Only we try to forget only thing is the brain.
Yes.
That is the only organ we neglect it. So that is the only organ now we need to concentrate more what implications and what everyday life, how it impacts actually. Sure, definitely CFIC is going to take a lead on that because it is related to the mental health also. So that's why we will do a separate session on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank
you. And I'm sure you're staying back because it's so important to hear the rest of the people so you can better train us for the future. And you left with a great word called harmony. I also personally believe in inclusion. Men and women makes great things in the world, right? You know, we can't take turns. We have to stop taking turns. I'm a big advocate for that. I sit in the panel only when there is other women and men also there. So I think that the perfect example and great example today for that inclusion is Srinivas Garu leading this one today, and also having our deputy Satish Mahajan here. He's not only we're not talking about the gender, but it is also important to talk about the gender because that's what it brings the strength, right? Some has some weakness, some has some strengths. Let's put together and appreciate the strengths and help the people who have some weaknesses, see that how we can uplift them. Well, welcome, welcome, Deputy Mahajan. And you've been doing so much to the community. First, thank you for joining the Women's Day event. I know a lot of men hesitate to be there, but you are there. Thank you so much. And being a public officer out there, and you're taking care of so much safety, especially with the calls with the domestic violence. And what is that you're seeing out there? And what is that you want us as a community be prepared in terms of the safety, or if there is somebody who's going through the abuse or anything related to that? How can you educate the South Asian community, especially to the women, that how can we be prepared and seek help from the law enforcement?
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And you're 100% right. I mean, there are things that I'm seeing now, again, doing this for about 10 plus years, and our community has grown tremendously, especially in the Sanford, Lake Mary area that I can speak to, and more specifically within Seminole County, also the Oviedo area, that more and more calls for service are coming from our community. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. And the reason I say that is because, as we've talked about, and we heard two of the very moving stories about domestic violence, I suspect, I know crimes against women are underreported quite a bit, but I suspect that within the Southeast Asian community, it's probably underreported even greater than that. And so let me just give a couple of definitions and facts about, excuse me, domestic violence is really any assault, battery, sexual battery, stalking, kidnapping, false imprisonment, a variety of different things that go into what is domestic violence. One of the common things that we see out there are when there is a situation occurring within two people, one person takes away the ability to call 911. And that in itself is a portion of domestic violence. So whether the phone is taken away from you, thrown against the wall, any of those things are critical indicators for that. There's also dating violence that I can talk to a little bit later. One of the services that is available that our community is probably not aware of as much as maybe some of the other communities is safe houses. Within Seminole County, we have safe houses. And what it really takes is simply a phone call, 911 call, or any other type of contact with law enforcement agency, and say, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe. I would like to go somewhere where I feel safe, and then I can, of course, get the services that go along with that. And that's all you need to do. We will meet you anywhere. It does not need to be your home. It can be at a grocery store. It can be at a department store. You can come to the station wherever you feel comfortable. We will come there and take you to a undisclosed location, which is a safe house, basically. And there are a variety of different services that are available to you, from counseling on up. If you have children, the children can also come along with that, because they're also on a protected class for that. So never hesitate if you feel unsafe, and don't let the situation get from bad to worse, if you will, for that. And within our community, and probably women don't feel comfortable many times because we don't have interaction with law enforcement, and we're a little afraid of what will be the next steps for that. And I can tell you that if it is a domestic violence call, you call 911 and say, there's violence going on with my partner, we will come to the call. And really our first item is to obviously separate you, but also then to hear the story or the fact, if you will, from each person independently. And there's a judgment made as to who is likely to be the aggressor for that. And then steps are taken beyond that, including all the way, of course, leading to an arrest for that aggressor behavior. And it is one of the things also that I think our community probably does less of when there's a situation like this, a dangerous situation, is file for an injunction. An injunction is simply an order of the court that says this other individual must break contact, cannot contact me, my children, and also not be within a certain amount of distance from where I work, where I go to school, where I shop, all of those things. And all of those are really intended to protect the caller at that point, which is, again, typically female, like that. So an injunction is very easy, and you probably, Madhurima, can know more about it than I might as to that, but very easy to file with the court system, does not take an expense to it. And it is a easy first step in the sense of what can be done. I say easy, I don't mean from a mentally or emotionally easy step. Obviously, that is very, very difficult for anyone to do. And then, so what happens when a law enforcement officer arrives on scene? Basically, we do something called a lethality assessment. And I won't go into details of that, but we ask a series of questions, again, of both individuals, and try to determine what the next step should be. So it is something that is, we take it seriously, and we do not want further harm to occur. And I want to touch upon the child abuse, that if we see child abuse in Florida, again, we may not be aware of that. Everybody may not be aware. By law in Florida, it is everyone's responsibility to report child abuse. Sometimes we think it's only the educators, the law enforcement officials, the judicial folks, the physicians. There is a higher level, if you will, for them. But in Florida, by law, everyone has to report suspected or actual child abuse. There are steps taken to that. And when you do report child abuse, it is confidential. Again, from a professional perspective, for those who are professionals in the variety of businesses I talked about, a different methodology applies. But I think everybody should feel free and comfortable that if indeed you see or suspect child abuse, you report it. Because I think, as we heard some of the stories, the person involved and their children may not feel comfortable yet in making an official report. But you, as a confidant of that individual, and you're aware of those, A, it is your legal responsibility, but B, it is more important, probably, a responsibility you owe to that individual who has taken confidence in you with that. And there's a series of different steps I can talk to you later about, what does it mean to have what is abuse, what is domestic violence, what is dating violence, what is the definition of a household with that. But I can take the questions with that as they come up later. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that it's so important again. I mean, that I'm so glad we have opened up this conversation, and we need to continue these conversations throughout the year. You are so right. And our community, especially the women, not being in connecting with the law enforcement day to day. It doesn't have to be when you have a problem, right? You can get educated from the law enforcement day to day. It's not always just for you. You need to be educated to help others too, to guide others, to send to the right place. I think that it's so important. Our community has to feel comfortable talking to the law enforcement. They are there to help us, public safety. And it's important to have that conversation and dialogue to see that when something happens, what should we be doing it? And thank you so much for opening up and talking and making us very easy and comfortable about the domestic violence, which is still hush hush in our community. And as probably some of you know that we have an organization called Shakti US, which is founded by me, but run by the board members right now. And I'm so glad I started that 8 years ago, because the main reason I started is being an immigration attorney. I see a lot of people who comes and talks about it, with the power of control. Immigration is also one of the power of control, right? Maybe the aggressor is the one who is holding your immigration, and you being a dependent, sometimes you feel like you don't want to get out of that situation because you feel like you're going to lose the immigration status, and your kids are going to lose the immigration status. That's other point of controlling. So there is so many factors that could able to control the domestic violence. And thank you so much for giving us that education, that what if something happens, how can we reach out to you? Again, we could take this to the next level. We can have a great conversation on this. I think that I'm glad we have resources like Harbor House, Safe House Seminole. There's so many resources out there if you have to take the shelter, and also how to reach out to the law enforcement. And the law enforcement works with the shelters very closely, because we are all here to help the community keep it safe, right? And you play a great role, the department and the law enforcement. Thank you so much for keeping us, all of us, safe, and let's work together to make the more safer communities. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. And if I may, a program that, by the way, everything that the Sheriff's Office offers is at no cost. So never worry about that. We offer a program called Self-Awareness and Tactics, and that is strictly for women only at this point. We generally request a minimum age of 13, but the upper age can be anything. And it is a program that is roughly 2.5 hours, held at our office in a training facility, the same one that as deputies we go through. I am one of the instructors of that. And if anytime a female would like to sign up, if you go to SeminoleSheriff.org, again, SeminoleSheriff.org, and we call it the STAR program. It's Self-Awareness Tactics program, and it is for women only. And it is where, for the first hour to hour and a half, we talk to you about awareness and teach you of the different things, whether you're shopping, whether you're walking anywhere on a trail, any of those things. And then the second part of it is actually the physical part. We demonstrate, and you are able to, against a deputy who is wearing a set of pads, obviously, to take all of the physical actions that you would need to protect yourself at that point. And so it gives you a good chance to practice. Again, it's offered monthly at the Sheriff's Office, but as I will also put it out to Shunya Garu and to CFIC, if there is a group of women that you have, we roughly say 20 women, we'll either hold a special class at our facility, or we will at least do the first part, the non-physical part, at a facility that you wish for us to come and do it. Again, at no charge. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a great resource. Definitely we have to take it, that one, CFICA.
Very important, Satish Garu, what you made today to aware community. We wanted to do on behalf of CFIC a special session with the deputies. As you know that, you guys are the champions. We are living peacefully means because of, law enforcement department, schools in the society, in our communities. Yep. Definitely here in this country, everything deals through the legal. So that's why that awareness is very important for men and women, everybody. So definitely CFIC is going to take a lead on that to make awareness programs, and also what you just said, that one. And a safe house, we are going to work with the department. CFIC is going to work with the department, because I get a lot of calls. They don't have courage. Even now, some of them are speaking, but a lot of silent voices are there. Still, CFIC is dealing, but they are not ready to come out because of the so many factors, so many. Even in one of the case, he threats legally. He threats every day what she can do, because she thinks about the family, she thinks about the child and her safety. And at the same time, they think about the reputation of the family. So we need to make them aware silently. We can also do silently and give the courage to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's very important. As we are talking about the domestic violence, I just want to take a minute. There is a culturally sensitive organization, Shakti US. We are here to provide the resources for the domestic and intimate partner abuse, specifically more to the South Asian community. I just want everybody look into it. You don't have to go through the abuse. There may be somebody going out there. You should be ready to share the resources, because they like to share with the people who are not judgmental, right? They wanted to somebody to hear them and find the resources. So we do have a lot of community services go throughout the year. We have in-person community session coming up, and we do a lot of programs like driving for independence, and we do legal aid program. We have the briefcase for the survivors housing program. These are more specifically to the South Asian survivors who needs help, because we are very culturally sensitive. There are so many information out there, but it is important who understands our culture, because we deal the domestic violence little bit different than others, because it takes a lot for us to share and to talk about it. I just want to tell that there is a resources out there. Shakti US is one of the culturally sensitive organization who could help you and hear you and try to find the right resources for you. We don't advise you what to do, and we are not here to separate the families, or we don't suggest anything about the divorces or anything that, but it is the survivor programs where the survivor can seek how they can become independent, how they can temporarily can get the assistance what they need. And we do have the helpline here, so you can call anytime to get the information and find the resources. And we raise a lot of funds to help the community to seek that there are help, there is a light out there, we can work together with you. And
Thank you.
also
Thank
wanted
you,
to
Madhurima Garu. I know Shakti is doing a lot of these kind of cases and dealing. Definitely, we are working with the Shakti too. So this is a good resource. Everybody can reach out to the Shakti
Yep.
regarding these situations.
Yeah, I just want to drop that information out there.
Yeah.
Before we continue the conversation, we have other story coming up, and this is a story about Roja, and it's going to read by Bhavya. Bhavya, are you available?
Yeah, hi. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be reading the story of a woman who has shown extraordinary strength and rebuilt her life with courage. This is her voice, her journey, and her resilience. I am here simply to share her story with the respect it deserves. Thank you for holding space for her story. Hello, everyone. My name is Roja, and I want to share my journey, a story of patience, pain, and ultimately strength. I was 23 when I got married, full of dreams and hope about love and companionship. I believed marriage would bring togetherness, laughter, and support. But within a few months, those dreams began to fade. My husband showed little interest in me. I would wait all day just to share a few words while he spent hours on the phone with someone else. Even our conversations felt timed, like I had only a limited space in his time. Over time, he showed no desire to go out, create memories, or make our home feel like a life to cherish. My sister in law added another layer of pain. Her interference, driven by greed and self interest, threatened the stability of my life and the well being of my children. As a mother, seeing someone intentionally disrupt your children's peace is a pain beyond words. Even through these heavy burdens, emotional neglect, humiliation, and betrayal, I stood firm for my children. When our first child was in the ICU, he showed no concern. Our second child was a blessing for me, but to him it felt like a burden. Still, I stayed silent, holding on to hope. In the fifth year of our marriage, I discovered the truth. My husband's past relationship has never ended. My sister in law was still controlling, influencing, and interfering in my married life. Confronting reality, I chose to stay not out of weakness, but to protect my family and honor the values my parents gave me. The years that followed were filled with emotional pain. He constantly degraded me, my looks, education, and my personality. His sister continued to make life harder. Yet I chose silence, not ignorance, but strength. I focused on raising my children, staying loyal, and keeping faith. My connection with God became my anchor. The last few years were the hardest. In 2024 and 2025, I lost both my parents, my biggest pillars of strength. Even in pain, my husband showed no compassion. At the end of 2025, after 15 years of marriage, he asked for a divorce and threatened court, showing no concern for the children. I stood firm. I refused to break. Soon I discovered everything. He had around 11 relationships, was active on dating and matrimonial sites, and lived a life of betrayal and deception. Yet, after all this, he asked for forgiveness, speaking of repentance and wanting to rebuild his life for our children. It was the most difficult decision of my life. But I chose to give him one last chance, not blindly, but with the strength, boundaries, and awareness of my worth. My patience will not go in vain. My children will not suffer. I refuse to let anyone treat our lives like game. I sought refuge in prayer and spirituality. I worked to remove negative thoughts and despair, remembering that all faiths teach justice, hope, and positivity, lessons that empower women to overcome pain. What I learned with my experience in life. Patience is strength, not weakness. Forgiveness is a choice, not surrender. Silence can be power. Faith can rebuild what seems broken. But above all, a woman must never lose herself. To every woman facing betrayal, neglect, or deep emotional pain, do not give up. Do not let anyone take your place in your own life. Stand strong for yourself and your children. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it quietly protects your dignity, your children, and your peace. Forgiveness, when chosen wisely, is a tool for strength. It allows you to release anger, protect your inner peace, and rebuild life on a stronger foundation. But forgiveness does not mean accepting harm. You can forgive and still stand firm, set boundaries, and protect your family. I also urge all women to reach out for support. I personally reached out to members of my place of worship and to Central Florida of Indian Community, CFIC, an organization helping women in crisis. They guided me, helped me to stay strong, and cared for my children. I shared my story today so that every woman listening to this should know there is support, there is hope, there is always a way forward, and no woman is alone. Stand firm, protect your peace, and remember your dignity, your life, and your happiness matters the most. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Bhavya, for sharing that story. Srinivas Garu, you want to say
Thank you,
something?
Bhavya, sharing the courageous story of Roja. She's, she afraid when she shared her story. She thought, it is going to go against her. But we carefully analyzed the situation and we guided her because of children and make sure that she and her children are protected. That's where, based on her situation, so she's doing it very courageously, and hats off to her courage actually to doing that, because of you saw so much betrayal and so much his domestic violence things. Thank you. These are the stories. Only few of them came out and to read, to share. But CFIC is dealing every month 2 or 3 stories, silent stories. Okay.
Yeah, it's so important. I mean, that these are the real-time stories, right? We learn so much and we build the resilience by listening to the others. It's not just us who are going through the problems. There are the people who are going more problems than us. That makes us more stronger to stand with them, to help them, and also help ourselves through other people's stories. So I know we heard so many doctors and safe law enforcement and other things. And it is also hard in general for the woman in South Asian community to take up the profession that is not normal day to day, being a lawyers, doctors, and educators, software engineers. And we have Miss Trivedi here, who is into the aerospace industry. And Miss Trivedi?
Thank you, Madhuri.
Hi there. How
Yeah.
are you?
Good, good.
Thank you for joining us, and we're really proud that you took a entirely different roadmap than what we generally call the typical jobs in Indian community. How does it feel for you to being a different wing, and also being a social speaker, a public speaker out there? And how do you feel yourself as a South Asian woman? Identify yourself, and you have to go through probably more struggles than a lot of typical professional jobs of South Asian women. That how do you put yourself, that you have to take extra pressure to prove yourself out there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was, it was not a path that I had imagined for myself. I never aspired to be a doctor, but, I started my career in IT and stumbled upon the aerospace industry 25 years ago and thought that that was going to be a stepping stone, but here I am all those years later. But it is, the engineering and aerospace and defense industry is very male dominated. So making, my presence felt and surviving and thriving has definitely been a challenging journey. And that is why I do what I do to give back to the my teams and the community overall. And I try my best to to give back basically. So I have a few things that I had put together. So first of all, thank you to CFIC community and Srini for creating this space. We've had a treasure trove of conversations today of all kinds, and I'm walking away so much more enlightened and wiser than when I first started here. So thank you, everybody. So as we embark on my topic of social aspects of womanhood, let's just start with some facts, right? Globally, we have closed about 68.8% of the gender gap. That sounds pretty good, right? Well, actually, no. At the current pace, it will take us over 120 years to reach full equality. That means, statistically speaking, none of us in this room will see it completed. So yeah, we made progress, but we're not even close to done. And it is going really, really slow. So let's really look beneath the surface. And, I have 3 high-level observations that I'd like to share with you. So first one, and a lot of it we kind of walked through in bits and pieces today as well, and we touched on it. But women today are educated, often even more educated than men. And yet, Globally, women earn about 20% less than men. So women start strong, but then life happens, marriage, children, caregiving, and then they drop from the workforce. Now, what looks like individual choice is actually a highly predictable social pattern because it happens to so many of us, right? And in communities like ours, South Asian communities, this pattern only intensifies, like Madhurima explained earlier. Number two, globally, women perform 2 to 3 times more unpaid care work than men. So if you assign economic value to all that work, it would represent trillions of dollars annually. That means less time for paid work, slower career progression, and reduce financial independence. So we don't just undervalue women's work, we make a large part of it economically completely invisible. And number three, women remain underrepresented in leadership across business, policy, institution, politics, and that has a really powerful ripple effect as well. Systems continue to be optimized for uninterrupted and linear careers, which fewer women can structurally sustain. So even when women enter the system, in many cases, the system is not designed for them to stay and rise. So if we were to name all these three clearly, gender equality is about designing systems that don't rely on silent sacrifice, and that requires deliberate action. So what can we actually do? Not just theoretical ideas, but real levers. So first, I recommend actively building mentorship. Do not wait for it. One of the most consistent predictors of career progression is access to mentorship and sponsorship. And yet many women just wait to be recognized or hesitate to ask. That really has to change. Mentorship is not given, it has to be built intentionally. So seek it, offer it, normalize it, because opportunity is just not going to flow through systems, it's going to flow through people. So we really need to become each other's support system. If you're in position to give back, please give back. Secondly, build a support system that's structural, not just emotional, right? Support not just as a form of encouragement, but it's reliable childcare, shared household responsibilities, professional networks, or communities that enable continuity and not just interruption, right? So if your ambition depends on everything going perfect, then that's not a plan. It's just a gamble, and you're not going to succeed or even survive. And then next, stay economically and professionally engaged, right? So don't just give up. Don't move. It's going to build confidence in financial freedom. That's number one. So even if your path is not straight, even if it's slow, just keep going, because the biggest long-term gap between women and men, it's not pay, it's staying within the workforce. So stepping out has compounding effects, right? On earning, on confidence, on follow-up opportunity. So my recommendation is stay in the game. Unless, of course, right, it's your personal wish and choice, then I respect that. But if you're trying to build yourself, right, don't step out of the game just out of mom guilt or wife guilt. If you build correct support systems, eventually that guilt turns into gratitude and you show up as a stronger, bolder version of yourself as an example for your children and your family. And that's what you should strive for, right? Next, pay attention to your rights and don't just assume that things are going to be stable and stay as is. We always assume that progress is permanent, but it's not. Across the world right now, we're seeing policy shifts, legal reinterpretations, and social narratives changing direction. So without naming sides or politics, one thing is clear: rights exist only as long as they're protected. So equality is not going to be, it's not self-sustaining. It's not going to stay that way forever, right? So I would like to close with this, right? If current trends continue, gender equality is over a century away. But one thing that history has shown us is that progress doesn't move at an average speed. It moves when enough people decide that current pace is unacceptable. So no need to ask, is the system fair? But really ask, in the decisions that we make today, who we support, what we prioritize, what we normalize, are we maintaining the system as is, or are we actively trying to reshape it? What are we doing about it, right? This equality is not just an idea, it's not just a right, it's a team project, and whether we acknowledge it or not, we're all contributors to its outcome. So I urge you all to step forward and help each other and help us build this community that becomes the support and strength for everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vedi. I think that it's a great advice. And I think that we all do. Sometimes we tend to forget, but it is so important to build that support system, right? It's not a one person thing. It's building that right person at the right time, doing the right thing for you, and finding that right person who clicks right to you makes the life becomes more easier and more enjoyable versus we constantly fighting against it. The life meant to enjoy, right? Not to fight constantly. I mean that yes, a lot of rocks will be thrown on us, but if we know how to defend that rock, if we wear that right helmet, we can go strong. Thank you so much for leading that, and you have a great smile though, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, everyone.
Of course, of course. It's a great day listening the stories and just walking through different sectors of the professionalism, and from homemakers to the all the way to the professors. We have the doctors, lawyers, and special professionals like you. I think that it's a great day to start, and we're glad we are enjoying this day and ending up the Women's History Month with a stronger note and giving to the community that we have a resilient, powerful women leaders right here in the Central Florida. And kudos to all of you. And I love to be part of this. Going forward from here, Dr. Kotapalli, she's the one first joined for this call earlier this morning. Dr. Kotapalli, welcome. And I know I heard you previously, but let's share your views with the rest of our community that in the mental health space, as a South Asians, we don't like to talk about the word mental health itself, right? We are far away to talk about it still. Um, how do we start this conversation? I mean, that I want you to talk more in the context of the family. How do we talk internally as a family? How do we share our expressions? We try not to open up so much to our own family members. Sometimes we think that depression is something we don't like to discuss. We always want to hear positiveness. We wanted to make sure that everybody gets in the first in the class. We are doing the best in the community. We only have to show up the best. Nobody wants to hear about what we are going through. They don't have to hear. They don't even want to see you per se. If you don't dress up nice, they don't care about your mental health, because sometimes you can dress up the best you can, but still your brain is not wearing the best clothes, right? How do we clean up our brain? How do we have these conversations at home? Can you talk about more in the family setting?
Of course. So thank you for this opportunity, everyone. Just loved hearing from all the experts. Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, South Asian, especially women, which is the focus of this group discussion today. I'm focused on that today, so I'm not talking about other issues. The biggest thing I see is stigma. Stigma is still a huge part of mental health, and people they'll come and say, I'm a cardiologist or I'm a neurologist, but I'm going through depression. I don't want anyone else to know. As highly confident, I mean, among all the services, disciplines of medicine, psychiatry is still most confidential. We do not, we have to make sure that our patients feel extremely confident in our abilities and reassure them that their information is safe with us. So, I see a lot of young students from UCF, from across different walks of life. They could be working at a Walmart, or they are a magistrate of a court system, or they are a policeman or a firefighter, or so because I see child, adolescents, and adults, I see the whole spectrum. The biggest struggle with women is they somehow feel talking about mental health is shaming their family. and they are extremely scared of repercussions. I had a woman who, in her almost like she's 50 years old, who came in for severe depression, had bouts of depression, and she told me that she would not like to use her insurance because her family, I mean, her husband would find out. She wanted to do cash payments. So oftentimes, simple things like that can be monumental in their decision making. And majority of conditions are chronic. I always tell them it's not the antibiotic, you take for 5 days and you're fine. Generally, mental health issues arise based on not just their upbringing, their experiences, trauma, and another big factor is addictions, their habits, their lifestyle. So usually evaluating them 360 takes time, and oftentimes for them to get better it takes several it takes time. So generally giving that type of information, reassuring them that they have a safe space. In fact, when patients, families call us, we don't even tell them that we see their spouse or their kids unless we have a release of information. So stigma is one big thing. The other thing which I find quite intriguing is sometimes I've seen patients, children of physicians, who will tell me that, yes, if I saw a 12-year-old with depression, I would suggest medication. But when it comes to their own child, they have strong reservations. I had I had a great friend of mine whose son was bullied and went through severe depression, had become suicidal. And when I recommended hospitalization for people who know Hindi, he told me, uh, हमारे फैमिली में ऐसा नहीं होता and log kya kahenge. So it just stuck with me that we have come far but we have not come far. So I had to educate the father and tell him that, listen, we are all modern day doctors, we all are living the real life. Would you put your child at a disadvantage by not giving him the best treatment? So after a lot of reassurance, we did the right thing, of course. But those type of things are good examples just to highlight that even though people say, oh, I understand mental health, do they really? Even though they say, yes, I meant support a mother who is struggling with a child with autism, do they really? So over 25 years, I've seen um, that it takes courage, it takes a lot of compassion to understand mental illness. It's not a disorder for lighthearted. We are championing this cause, and I feel very proud to offer my services for young and old because it takes a village to get them better. Again, depression, anxiety are extremely treatable conditions. And without treatment, the consequences are fatal. Sometimes patients don't understand that. Sometimes they ignore, they procrastinate, they're worried about what other people will think, they will judge them, and they come too late. We've lost patients to suicide. In fact, uh, we've had a lot of Indian families that have lost their children to suicide, and they will say, he was always smiling. He was always doing great. He was valedictorian. I never saw this coming, Manjula. I never saw, but there is this dark side of mental illness, which is not understood by many, many. And I've had a great friend who lives in Houston who's an endocrinologist who lost his son. And he talks about it, and he says that parenting by far is the hardest thing to do. It does not come with a handbook. And oftentimes, we are great at giving advice to others. But when our own family is involved, we shy away from seeking help. So it takes a lot of education. And sometimes I'll just have to tell parents that please leave your credentials outside because here more work will be done if you're just a parent. Hard conversations. Again, the other thing is a lot of South Asian community is surviving through addiction. Women, especially tech world, I've seen that younger women, professional women between the ages of, let's say 30 to 40, are drinking heavily. And they don't even realize that they meet criteria for alcohol dependence. And they think that everybody in their family drinks, all social gatherings have alcohol, all Diwali parties have alcohol, or all weddings have alcohol. But I always tell them the second they have mental illness, their chances of dependence or have co-occurring dual diagnosis, we call it substance abuse disorders, along with depression and anxiety, are very high. So I've actually had to talk to a few patients to say that just because your family does, it's actually detrimental to your mental health. And it came as a rude wake-up call. They're like, what do you mean? There's alcohol everywhere. I'm like, yes, but alcohol is poison for you. Stuff like that can be, very, it can uh, raise important questions and to have these hard conversations is very essential. Um, I do see a significant amount of neglect and domestic violence. We are all mandatory reporter of abuse and violence. And believe me, your credentials will not protect you from certain social vulnerabilities. So having that safe space to talk about these issues. So I see quite a bit of that. Again, women, from the time the girls attain, their first period to end of, and post-menopause, hormones drive to some degree our mood and, our other, and give other symptoms which can affect our mood. So, talking about women's mental health, we are not doing justice if we are not talking about what level, what stage of, where are they in terms of their hormonal cycles. I would say to all the young parents who are raising children, if you think you will be successful raising your children the way you were raised, you're wrong. Because, you know, adapting to the country you live in, following the rules is important. I've had some parents present with corporal punishment. They said that, this is how my parents would, they would hit us, they would discipline us, and it is normal. And I said, no, because this is abuse. This is a form of abuse. Even if you don't say that, your kids go to schools, they are talking to their friends. Somebody can, report it, and that can lead to a lot of problems. And again, these are good parents, they just don't know the rules. So understanding the laws of the land we live in and following it is extremely essential. The other big thing is young children, even the age of 13, are on social media. And believe it or not, it has become almost like they compete with each other about posting their pictures and the events they go to, the holiday parties they go to, and that can lead lead to unnecessary competitiveness, which is not just harmful emotionally, but also a brain drain. So sometimes I just have to say for a month, you have to come off of social media. And young and old are, just addicted to technology nowadays. And sometimes the treatment for to kind of undo all this harm is to do nothing. Do nothing is actually just a saving grace sometimes, because it's not about medication. It's not about some lengthy, app-driven exercise. Some of it is just basics, having good sleep hygiene, having good diet, being active, using spirituality for if you believe in higher power. And the last thing is, of course, staying away from drugs and alcohol. I cannot tell you how many children that are from our Desi community are addicted to marijuana, and they're addicted to alcohol, and they're addicted to porn, and they're addicted to social media, they're addicted to Insta. It's crazy, it's crazy. And they are struggling at whole another level. Now, DSM-5, which we use for diagnosis, there are actually criteria now that is including social media addiction. So I can tell you that we are definitely looking for those type of illnesses. Um, I truly think that people that struggle with mental illness are in a very, very lonely place. If you know a friend or a family member who's struggling, please receive them with great dignity and respect. Because if things changed, it could be you who's experiencing that. Your credentials, your affluence, your status in the world does not protect you from mental illness. Mental illness is equal opportunity disease, and more people are talking about it. There's greater awareness. People like Deepika Padukone and all these people are talking about their mental health journey. It's socially more getting noticed. But again, I will say one more thing. There's a lot of there are a lot of platforms where people are selling stuff. Be careful what type of services you prescribe to. They're extremely expensive. And second thing is, they say a lot of fancy things like fancy diets and fancy uh, exercises, which may or may not be that beneficial. Sometimes a lot of people think if you see a psychiatrist, you end up on medication. That is absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Sometimes our patients just need reassurance. Sometimes they need education. Sometimes they just need to be told that stop using drugs, stop using, uh, sometimes it's called behavioral activation, where we are asking them to be active, do exercise, do things that alleviate stress. And yes, at the end of it, if we've tried everything and they require medication, absolutely, we do that. There's a lot of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy is very well known, extremely research backed up, that can be extremely helpful in alleviating your symptoms. But mental health is exploding. Right now, there are a lot of people that are struggling with mental illness across the span. And I practice in Central Florida. I'm in a private practice called APG Healthcare, and I see young kids to all the way grown adults. If I'm able to help you with anything at all, please feel free. And again, I speak Hindi fluently, Telugu fluently, Assam Tamil, and I speak English. So if there's anything I can help you with, I'll be happy to. With that, I rest. Thank you.
Dr. Manjula Uttapalli garu. Really, it is very helpful talk. It is much needed subject to be discussed in lengthy. I know we put together in a very short time period with a lot of experts. We are very sorry on that, but this is the subject where it is known enemy, but we feel that it is unknown to us. Mental health, no discrimination to that. Anybody, nobody immune for that one. As you said, medication is the last resort. Before that, using alternative methods, you don't need to use the medication also. We know that one. Now, as you said, social media is the biggest addiction now. For the kids, it is spoiling. It is spoiling actually. As you know that we attended a lot of panelists in Seminole County itself. The county school board invited the CFIC to participate in that panels because of this mental health issues. A lot of suicides happening in the schools. So definitely we are going to take care this one as very important to educate and make awareness that one. We will do it later time. Thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And now I know even it is 12 noon, we are extending this one because it is a very important subjects what we are dealing with today, special day. We are extending beyond 12 noon. So next we have a very important subject, that is cardiology. We have a guest, Dr. Neelima Katkuri. She's here. She's an interventional cardiologist and associate professor at UCF, University of Central Florida School of Medicine. And she is immediate past president of CAPI, Central Florida Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, regional director of ATA in Orlando, and the president-elect for Usmania Gandhi Kakatiya Telangana Medical Alumni Association. She is a board member of Florida chapter of American College of Cardiology. She was a steering committee member in Ischemic Heart Disease Council, part of Society of Cardiovascular Angiography and Intervention, SCAI, immediate member for Women in Innovations, Women in Cardiology and Early Heart Attack Program for American College of Cardiology. She serves as a guest editor for JSCAI and various other journals. She enjoys running, exploring new places, hiking, and biking. Dr. Neelima Garu, please. Hello. Hello.
I don't see her, Andy.
No, she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she called me.
She was here a while ago, and now we don't see her.
I'm here.
Yeah, Neelima Garu, yes, please. Please go ahead. I think you are on mute. Hello. Yeah, we called you only. I'm sorry. I think, maybe she's here, but I don't know what happened. She's in the conference, actually. Even though she's in the conference, she agreed to participate. That we will, let's see if she comes back. So now we have one more story. That is Priya's story. And Deepthi, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Charu. Hi, everyone. This is Deepthi. I am a financial consultant by profession. I get this opportunity to read Priya's story. It is titled as Reclaiming My Power, A Journey from Pain to Strength. In the words of Priya, this is a story of a survival, strength, and courage it takes to walk away from a toxic relationship. A toxic relationship can gradually dim even the brightest spirit. It starts with subtly control disguised as care, criticism masked as concern, silence used as punishment. Over time, it chips away your confidence, your self worth, and your peace of mind. For me, walking away wasn't just a decision, it was an act of courage, a declaration that I'm reclaiming my identity. Divorce in this context isn't failure, it's a powerful turning point. Society may label women who leave toxic marriages as broken, but the truth is different. We are choosing dignity, self respect, and growth over stagnation. The journey wasn't easy. I faced emotional exhaustion, societal judgment, and self doubt. There were moments when I questioned myself, but in that struggle, I found transformation. Slowly, I began to rebuild my confidence through small victories, making decisions alone, setting boundaries, and pursuing my career. I stood taller, not because life became easy, but because I became stronger. Choosing to leave sent a powerful message to myself. Love should never come at a cost of self worth. This journey taught me that it's never too late to walk away from what harms us and move forward from what heals us, towards what heals us. Marriage, as we are taught, is supposed to be a bond of love, respect, and support. But for me, it was neglect, disrespect, and emotional distance. The absence of emotional support eroded my peace of mind, leaving me feeling alone, even in a relationship. Adding to the pain was constant interference from my in laws, who, instead of offering support, added pressure and tension, making my home feel like a battleground. The emotional toll was immense, and during the divorce, I faced threats and harassment. But I reached out to CFIC, an organization that gave me much needed emotional support. With their help, I navigated the darkest parts of my journey. After my divorce, my ex husband's family wrongfully claimed the property that was mine, causing further stress. But with CFIC's guidance, I was able to resolve the issue and start rebuilding my life. Today, I'm grateful for the support I received. I'm deeply indebted to CFIC for helping me reclaim my peace and guiding me through the hardest parts of my journey. To every woman listening, you are not alone. Don't give up. Reach out for help. There are communities, organizations, and individuals who stand with you. You deserve a life filled with dignity, peace, and joy. No woman should ever feel like she's fighting alone. There is hope, there is support, and there is always a way forward. You are not alone. Thanks, Priya, for sharing this story with CFIC, and thanks, Srini Garu, for giving us and everybody a platform to share their stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepthi, for reading Priya's story. Really, CFIC dealt, this is the toughest Priya's case, actually. Not only, and after her marriage, it's only 3 or 4 months after the marriage, everything started. It's a very tough decision for her. She's at low times, really, she's not only low, she's already down and losing the control of her life also. We analyzed the situation, we talked to the parents, we talked to the boys' relation and everybody. We told that one, she's ready to, lose her life because of the situations what you guys are creating. Then gone through the divorce, and after that also for the properties, lot of threatening came to their family and personally to me also. But we fought it through various resources, and successfully she came out of that toxic relation, and now she started her new life. So that is the way the stories begin, when the community is, taking care of the things. That's why it's very important. Community need to get together and help the people who are in need. Now, Dr. Nilma Katkuri Garu is here. Please take over. Hello? Dr. Neelima garu? I'm sorry for the interruption. Hello. Yeah, we called you only. Are you there? Can you take over, please? Yeah, thank you. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Can you show me? Hi, all. I'm Neelima Katakuri. I'm an interventional cardiologist. I don't know if you have mentioned about the introduction already or.
Yes, I already mentioned.
Oh,
Thank you
okay.
so much.
Okay. So if you can show me the slides, and I want to address a few issues with Asian people having more heart attacks than recently. You see a lot of heart attacks in Asian people, and I receive multiple questions as to how we can avoid it and what we can do to prevent it.
Yeah, slides we can share with them, and can you talk on this?
Yeah,
one?
sure.
I can share with the community the slides. So,
Okay.
Thank you. So much.
So what happens? Some people, I want to address few questions because it's very hard for me to go over the entire cardiology and the phenomena what leads to heart attack. But mostly our lifestyle is one main thing. Number two is the dietary. We as South Asians have a lot of rice and carbs in our diet, as opposed to the Mediterranean diet, which has more of salads. We do not have the concepts of salad in our culture, unfortunately. But in olden ages, they used to work in fields and all of that, so it didn't matter at that point. But now we are adapting to more of western culture and western lifestyle, at the same time keeping up with the same food that we used to. So that was the main issue. That's number one. Number two would be like a lifestyle with regards to exercise. So some people complain about exercise as walking for bits and pieces here and there. But as per the American College of Cardiology, walking or strength training is important. Strength training is where you build up muscle. And we have a taboo in our thing where women are not encouraged to do any weights because they build up muscle, and that's not good. And it's only mainly for men. So that kind of taboo prevents a woman from doing strength training exercises. But you have to do at least 3 times a week strength training exercise for at least half an hour, 30 minutes. And regular exercise as a cardio or some kind of exercise is recommended, at least 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. So that totals about 150 minutes. So it doesn't matter whether you want to do every other day or every day, but it has to be 150 minutes per week. So how you want to do it, it's totally up to you. That's number two, coming to exercise. And number three is preventive cardiology. Until we have some sort of symptoms, we don't seek any cardiac attention. But I would encourage all the people above 40 years old to have a CT scan, which measures the calcium score, and to look at the blood vessels, which the CAT scan used to get the calcium score above 100 is considered to be a risk factor for heart disease in the future. So you have to take a cholesterol pill called Lipitor, or you have to check your cholesterol. Maintaining healthy regular physician visits is also important. Every year you have to get your cholesterol checked. Every year you have to get your, symptoms. If even if you want to get a EKG or something like that, that is very helpful. We ignore our health until it comes to a point where you develop symptoms. So that's another key thing. And if your calcium score is above 100, then you have to go further and take a look at your what kind of symptoms you're having. Most of them, they try to blame it on acid reflux, but acid reflux is rule out, meaning you have to check your heart first. And if everything is normal in terms of heart, then you can blame it on acid reflux. Most common problem I see with all of our South Asians is they try to blame it immediately on acid reflux, number one, or they try to blame it on getting old. Like you walk short distances and you get out of breath, that's another telltale sign for having some sort of heart problem. But we try to blame it on aging. So those are the two things. Dyspnea on exertion, it's called dyspnea on exertion. Number two is retrosternal chest burning. Burning is not always related to acid reflux. Burning can be related to our heart. Number one. And women, as women, we tend to present it more atypically than men. Anything, if you develop jaw pain, I most commonly see women complaining of jaw pain. Don't blame it on your teeth or anything, but if it feels like a pressure in the jaw, that's most likely related to your heart. And then the other thing they notice is like going to your arm, going to your neck, going to the right side of the arm is also a feature where women present atypically than men. And other thing I commonly see is like having some sort of chest pressure all over the chest, not just on the left side. And they say, oh, no, I did not think it was heart because it's not on the left side of the heart. It could be in the middle, it could be on the right side. So it doesn't matter what kind of presentation you're having, it could be anywhere. So you need to get checked up. And the other common taboo that I see in women is that they think heart disease is men related. It is not men related. It can happen to women and it can happen to men. It has no gender bias. So just be mindful of that. And then once you reach postmenopausal age, you are equivalent to men in terms of heart disease risk. And also the incidence of heart attack is equivalent to men once you reach postmenopausal age. Hormones tends to protect you as long as you are in that menstrual age. But after that, it is equivalent risk. Other thing you have to keep in mind is during pregnancy, if you have a some complaints of chest pain or something like that, please do get an EKG. I would strongly encourage. There is a entity called SCAD, which is a spontaneous coronary artery dissection. Because of the hormonal changes during pregnancy, you can have coronary arteries with a dissection. That doesn't have anything to do with the lipid profile. That doesn't have anything to do with blockages in the blood vessels. It's just a tendency because if your hormones are like there is some hormonal imbalance during pregnancy, that can lead to the dissection of the blood vessels. So don't ignore saying it's not related to heart attack. Just get an EKG, seek a medical attention, and if there is nothing wrong, that's great. But just seek medical attention. Women, we tend to ignore. We focus on our children's health. We tend to focus on men's health, but we do not tend to focus on our own health. But if you're not there, you cannot focus on your children or your family. You cannot take care of that. So please do focus on your health. That's another common thing that I noticed, that we do not pay attention to ourselves. At least give half an hour a day. There are 24 hours in a day. Give half an hour a day for yourself. It's time for ourselves. So if you are not healthy and if you're not fit, you cannot take care of your family. Either it could be your in-laws, it could be your parents, it could be we as a caregivers have a lot of responsibilities, and in the process we tend to ignore our own health. but just focus on your health. And that's another main point that I would like to emphasize. And thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Neelamagaru. You said it rightly. You sacrifice for your children, your family, and everybody. You ignore it.
Yes.
So you are not there. You are not there in taking care of the things. So it is very important. It is, as you said, it is not gender bias. Nowadays, after COVID, these cases are increasing a lot. So,
and also we tend to present in the very late stages. At that point, it may be you have gone too far to the extent that your blockage in the blood vessels have been there, and then you develop into heart failure, which is like your heart pump is not functioning because the blockage has been there for such a long time that your heart pump will not function. That's when you tend to take all the medications, and your life expectancy will definitely decrease with that. So seek attention immediately, if medical attention, and if there is nothing, you are happy, right? So but if it is related to something, please do take care of that.
that's what, South Asians, until we see the emergency rooms, we don't take care. So that's what the ICU, especially when we go to the ICU, then only we care about ours.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight on this one, cardiology, this heart awareness program. And definitely whatever we are seeing here, the specialists, this is going to be each one-day program actually, but we are compiling into the very short 20 minutes program.
I wanted to more emphasize on the pathology, as to some questions I get is most commonly, oh, my stress test is normal, but I still had a heart attack. Those are all I would like to go details about it, but it's now, as I said, like
we will have the other session on this one, especially each subject for one session.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's very hard to condense it. As you know, cardiology is many years of training. It's almost took me like 12 years of training. So it is very hard to condense it in a matter of few minutes. Thank you for understanding.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neelamagaru. Thank you.
Yeah.
And right now,
please reach out to me if you have any questions. Srini has my email and also my phone number. So any questions, I'm happy to address.
Thank you. You are a very community support, doctor. So definitely our community will reach out to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Sure. And I know, we are really, even after 12 also, because of the time, we wanted to do it, with our experts who joined already. So now I'm going to give it to Nalini Garu, yoga instructor. Thank you so much. Please take over. Already it's late, but we want you to, because this is also one of the important subject.
Okay, sure. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Srini, for the opportunity. Before I begin, may I request anyone who can turn on videos, some of you, to turn on your videos so that I can connect your faces to your names, please. Otherwise, I'm teaching to a blank screen, and it is no different from a video. May I request all of you to turn on your videos? It's very important when we are learning anything with yoga to connect with ourselves, right? I know it's late, but I'll wait. I have patience. Yoga taught me patience. Sorry, Srini Garu, I know you want me to rush, but
no. I'm not going to rush, because until everybody leaves, this session is keep open.
Okay. A few more videos. May I request a few more videos, please? It's a request. Thank you.
When there are videos, she's going to start.
Huh. I appreciate some more videos on, please. Yeah. Okay. Namaste, everyone, first of all. So today, Srini Garu asked me to talk about stress mainly, because that has been the buzzword lately. So it's not about stress, but whatever we are feeling inside, that is what I'm going to talk about. So first sentence I would like to begin with is don't forsake breathing when you need it the most. Don't forsake breathing when you need it the most. Immediately after this session, I bet where many of you have to get on some activities or maybe need some rest. At that time, also, your breath is with you, right? So I want you to think about your breath. So raise your hand if you can feel that your breath is shallow. That is the reason why I wanted you to turn on your videos. How can I see if you raise your hand, right? Okay, your breath is shallow. Only Udita Garu raised her hand. Others, I bet your heart is racing and your breath, okay, breath is different. And so, coming to a point, I'm a professor of biology. I also understand a little bit of biology. So, from biology point of view or science point of view, what I understood is that um, breath has to be variable, sometimes shallow, sometimes deep, sometimes fast, sometimes varied, right? So breath can be varied. That is what science says. Now coming to the authentic real yoga. Authentic Real Yoga says that you can use your breath, the tool that you have from the time you're born to the time that you're gone. And every moment your breath is with you, and you can use your breath and breathing activity to change the way you are feeling or connecting with yourself and whatever you are aspiring for, or you want more balance in life, you want more focus in life, all those can be achieved. You're feeling thirsty, you're feeling hot, menopause does that, right? Or premenopause does that, hot flashes. So whatever you're feeling, for all these, the solution at your hands is breathing. So you can use your breath. Let me go over only two things today. Two breathing techniques we can use to connect with ourselves and feel calmer, feel more present, feel more aware. First thing is deep breathing. Deep breathing. What we do in deep breathing, first of all, may I request all of you, even if you did not turn on the videos, sit straight with your body weight on your thighs, not on your hip bones, but on thighs. Lean little forward. You see how much difference there is when I sit up straight. Roll your shoulders back and head in a straight line with your spine. Okay, so this is what we are going to do in order to connect with ourselves. First, sit straight and then bring your mind's attention to your breath. To calm yourself down, what you could do is inhale through nose and bulge your belly. Inhale through nose and bulge your belly, in the sense, expand your belly, and exhale. Don't collapse your belly. Just let it fall. Let it do its own thing. Let's repeat this 3 more times. Inhale through nose and expand your belly. Exhale. Inhale through nose and exhale. When you inhale, expand your belly. Trust me, this is very effective whenever you feel like there's a disconnect, or you're feeling stress, or you're not able to understand what's going on within you and also in the environment. Try this breathing. This is called Ujjayi breathing or ocean breath. I did not add the sound because Zoom does not transmit the sound signals properly. So that is one. And second one that I would like to cover is box breathing or four-step breathing. Box breathing or four-step breathing. Inhale through your nose, hold your breath, Exhale through nose and hold your breath. Let's practice this 3 more times. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. 2 more times. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. 1 more. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So those were 2 breathing techniques, and the one that we just now did, it is called Kumbhaka in Sanskritam, and in English you can call it box breathing or 4-step breathing. So if you want more practices, as I said, breathing can be used to connect with ourselves in so many ways. You can look at my channel, watch the videos on my channel, Dr. Yoga Wisdom, which is also part of my name. And you can learn from there. There are many videos. Namaste. Be happy, be light, and thank you.
Thank you, Malini Garu. Definitely, this is a big ocean one, what you showed. So it needs a lot of concentration and practice to make everybody healthy, not to go to the doctor's offices. But even while you're going to the doctor's office, while you're using your medication, you do this one, you can minimize your medication and you get back to your healthy. Thank you so much. We are going to have a special session with you in future. Thank you. Right now we have, young girls here. They wanted to, talk about what the Women's Day means for them. Dia and Ria, please. You're on mute.
Thank you so much, Srinivas Garu. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. We wrote a short little section of letters to women from the past who have done so much for us and the freedoms that we have today because of their contributions. To Savitribai Phule, we've been taught about the schools that she started, specifically so that women who weren't allowed to learn are now able to, how she had to carry an extra sari because people threw stones at her for trying to educate girls. Now we're allowed to have the same education as boys, and we can have the same careers. But we still can't have the same respect. The gender wage gap is still a problem. It feels like we're still waiting for the stones to be thrown at us, and like we have to prove that we deserve the space that she cleared for us.
Dear Sarojini Naidu, the Nightingale of India, you used your voice to wake up a nation, but I wonder about the quiet moments between the speeches and the marches. You were the first Indian woman to be president of the Indian National Congress. You stood up when women were supposed to sit quietly. We speak loudly now because we still must fight to be heard.
To Anandi Gopal Joshi, India's first female physician, you traveled across oceans alone at 19 just to study. You died at 21 because you sacrificed your own health to try and heal others. Even now, women keep everyone else alive while they neglect themselves. Today, we honor you by admitting that taking care of ourselves is just as important as our families.
To the activists whose names we don't know, to the women of the Chipko movement who clung to trees and the woman who stood in the heat of every protest. You fought for a right to own land and occupy space, but for so long, women have been told that our only value is in the fight. We're realizing that you didn't just fight for us to be soldiers, you fought for us to be individuals.
To the mothers and grandmothers whose names aren't in the history books but still keep the world running. To the people who raised the world. You led through sacrifice, carrying the weight of an entire household on your shoulders while walking with your heads held high. We are the harvest of the seeds you planted in difficult soil, and we recognize that all of our success is just an extension of your endurance. We honor you by finally allowing ourselves to be the version of you that is allowed to breathe.
We're realizing that you didn't fight for us to be busy every hour of the day. You fought for us to be free.
And freedom isn't just about what we can do. It's about what we are allowed to put down.
So we aren't just looking back at the work you did.
We're looking at the peace you never got to have and inheriting the courage you needed to endure.
Because the best way to honor your history is to finally live the life you intended for us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dia and Ria. And, you reminded us how our, so many people sacrifices because of that only right now what we have, what rights and what what we are doing right now is bringing into reminding us. And thank you, and you young generation, recollecting those memories and those sacrifices and leading the path. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Andrea.
you.
And we have one more story. Rajita, are you here? Rajita? Okay, I will call the Rajita later. Soumya, if you are here, please. Soumya. Hello.
Yes, Srini Garu,
Yes,
can
please.
you hear me?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I would like to start by wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day. Firstly, I would like to thank CFIC for giving me this opportunity to share my story. I wouldn't say it's. I hope it inspires someone sitting there, to just restart, to just hit that restart button of their life second innings. I can firmly say that it is never too late to work on your dreams. It doesn't matter if you succeed or fail, but trust me, the effort never goes wasted. So now let me just quickly jump into my story. I would like to start by talking about the official theme of 2026 International Women's Day, which is Give to Gain. So when I first heard that, I thought, give to gain. I've been giving my whole life. When do I get the gain part? But after listening to all the stories today of the women sitting in this room, I totally realized that what we give in resilience, we gain in unbreakable strength. So I grew up in India, a country where women's education is always pushed back. But I've been fortunate enough to have parents who always put my education forward. I always listened my relatives talking to my father. Why do you spend so much money on your daughter's education? Why don't you just rather put it on your son's education and all? But my parents never uh, took those things in, but they just supported me as much as they did my brothers. Was fine. I always excelled at my studies. I learned early on that for a woman, good isn't just a grade, but it's a survival tactic. I had to excel in everything I touched just to stay afloat. I studied so hard that I think even my textbook started recognizing my face, and it finally worked. I scored like around 94% in my high school, and got a very good rank in MSET, which was like an entrance exam for medicine. I always dreamt of becoming a doctor. Then everything was fine, and I landed up in a very good I secured a very good seat in a very good medical college. Then life happened. My father decided to use my tuition funds to send my brother to the United States for his masters. I was totally heartbroken. Imagine a girl who has been having this dream for 21 years, and this dream was put in her mind by her father, and he immediately made up his mind to transfer the funds for his son. I don't know what was running in my father's head that day, but I had to sacrifice my medical seat and I had to go to a dental college which was very close to my home just to just to let my brother pursue his dreams. I accepted this challenge. I moved forward, and dentistry back then was totally dominated by women. I found my first community. My colleagues weren't just my friends; they were my brain trust. I finished my graduation. We opened a clinic together, and where we didn't just fix teeth, but we educated the whole person. For instance, we used to hand out so many education pamphlets to our patients, like naming the systemic diseases and oral health. Trust me, I was ready to change the world one molar at a time, if you can get the joke. So, as my clinic was thriving, the very cliche thing, which is like marriage and family, sirens started blaring. I moved to United States to start over. Trust me, it was so scary. But the same brother who flew away to United States with my dreams, he stood as my support. And my husband, he became my biggest champion. Even though my dreams were jeopardized by one man's decision in the past, but these two men, they stood behind me. They were the ones who said that go behind your dreams. We are always there to support you, no matter what, if it is emotionally, financially, whatever. Then I started preparing for my boards to restart my dental career in United States. Trust me, United States is a land of opportunities. To all the women sitting there thinking about restarting your life, it's never ever too late. Work on your dreams. You will go somewhere definitely. So I started studying for my exams, and everything was fine. And all of a sudden, uh, my son was diagnosed with behavioral challenges and speech delays. This was the biggest storm that hit my life, and I could not. My life was all paused. Then I took a deep breath. I paused my career, and I I was there for my son. Uh, you know, I paused my career and concentrated helping my son, staying at home. I'm never guilty for the time I spent with my son because I was there for them when he needed me the most. Since now that my
Why do you think it's the
children
same?
have grew up, and my
Oh, career improves.
resilience, with all the undue support from my family and kids, I'm now applying for dental schools, and I started giving back it to the community. I started doing the community service. I looked for the resources, and I happened to meet Srini Garu. I will never forget Srini Garu, what he has done to my friend when he was going through a difficult phase. I was so impressed with his work, and he's truly inspiring. I may not have a very emotional story behind me, but I can be a good example of working on your dreams. You would not believe me if I say now that one set of my co-applicants are like 15 to 10 years younger than me. But on the other side, I have few people who are close to 50, all set to start their college again. So I want to shout it again. It is never too late. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. So, to all the incredible women here today, if you're currently in the middle of a storm, just remember you're not sinking, you're just becoming a master of the waves. Do not give up on your dreams. If the front door is locked, find a window. If the window is stuck, check the chimney. And if all else fails, well, we are women. We will just build a new house. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I wish someone gets inspired. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you, Soumya. Your story reflects the spirit of give to gain. A powerful reminder that setbacks do not define us, or a determination does. Thank you for sharing your story. Now, Rajita, are there?
Yes, Srinigaru.
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So, hi everyone. Before I say my name, I want to ask you guys something. Close your eyes for 3 seconds and think of a woman in your life. Maybe in a mirror who has held everything together for a child in like the world did not understand. Now open your eyes and see, hold her in your mind like this speech is for her. It can be you, it can be your mom, your sister, or anyone in your family. Like, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rajita, and I'm very much honored for Srinigaru to give me this opportunity to talk in this International Women's Day, like month, where we talk about all kinds of strength. Like, I'm very much impressed with Soumya. Like, even my journey is similar to her. So I'm not going to talk about the theory part. Like, it's like I'm speaking as a mother who has a child who is minimal verbal. My child does not yet have words to tell the world, but I'm the one who's speaking for my child. Every day, I'm the voice for my child. And that is not a role I applied for. It's a role that chose me. And it changed everything I thought. I knew about strength. Picture this, like a mother sitting across a school of a team, like where six professionals with the reports and the data, with labels ready to place on the kid. The child who does not speak the way the other children speak, they see a gap, a delay, a deficit. Like she sees something that no one else sees. We see the same kid who listens to the music, like the favorite song or something, the whole body keeps dancing. And the same kid who arranges that voice or who tries to do stuff in a precise and intentional way, which takes the breath away. Like she always holds the kid, like after the school, not because she failed, because the world has failed. It's too loud, it's too fast, it's too much for the kid. The child could not tell what's wrong, but we know what's wrong. The mother who listens to her whole being does not need word to hear her child. So she looks at the team and tells, "Hey, my child is not broken." The mother who could be any woman on this call right now. So when a neurodivergent child struggles in a school, especially a child who cannot speak for themselves, the world asks a question: what's wrong with the child? But the woman who's closest to the child, they know better. Like they see the intelligence in the kid, even when there are no words for the kid to talk on the lips. Like we see the connection, the way the kid reaches for the hand, even the world when it's disconnected from the kid, and no one asks what it costs her. She becomes a coordinator, she becomes a translator, she becomes a researcher, and reading, studying in the midnights, trying to learn the kids' language, every gesture, every sound, every silence that carries a meaning. She becomes fluent in the language no textbook teaches, and she spends her days translating the language for the world that is not listening hard enough. She manages therapy, school meetings, meltdowns, and impossible expectations, often in the same afternoon. And through all of it, she's expected to appear fine. She's not fine, she's fighting. And here is a part that no one talks. There's a moment that every night after the therapies are done, after the meltdowns has passed, after the house has gone quiet, she finally sits down, and in silence, the weight arrives. Not gradually, all at once. Her chest tightens, her eyes sting. The thoughts flood in. Am I doing enough? Am I failing my child? Did I say the right thing in the meeting? Should I have pushed harder? She does not sleep easily. She rewrites the emails to teachers, to therapists, to everyone in her head, lying in the dark. She plans tomorrow's strategies while her body begs to rest. The stress lives in her shoulder, in her jaws, in the migraine she explains away, in the tears she's only to allow herself in shower. And no one asks how is she doing. Not truly, because the world assumes the woman who shows up every day must be managing fine. But here, what is incredible, like remarkable, is she learns to hold herself, not because someone teaches her, not because she has no other choice. She learns to breathe before she reacts, not because she is calm, but because she knows her child is watching, learning how to face a world that will challenge them too. She learns to name her emotions instead of swallowing them. Anger is not weakness, grief is not a defeat, exhaustion is not a failure. She whispers to herself on the hard days, you're allowed to be tired and still be a good mother. She craves out 5 minutes of stillness, not because the world pauses for her. It's because she understands that she cannot pour from the empty well, like from a vessel that is empty. Sometimes in stillness, in a cup of tea for everyone has gone to bed, sometimes it's in a prayer. Sometimes it's just closing her eyes, letting the silence hold her before the next battle begins. And she finds her people, other mother who understands without explanation, women who do not judge the messy house or the cancelled plans, women who says, I see you, you're not alone. And in these words, she finds oxygen. She does not manage the stress perfectly. Some nights she cries, some mornings she doesn't want to get out of the bed, but she does. Every single time she does. That is not just survival, that is a courage. She had an ability to rise, to take a promotion, to lead the boardrooms. But she looked at the therapies, appointments, the schools, the mornings her child could not get out of the car. She made a choice, not because she lacked ambition, but because she knew if she doesn't show up, who will speak for the kid? The world celebrates women who shatters the glass ceilings, but they rarely honor the woman who chose instead to kneel beside her child and say, I'm here, I'll be your voice until you find your own. That is not a step back. That is a different kind of greatness. So I did see Sushma is also one among that mom. So if you're that mom, if your throat is tight right now, if your eyes are burning, hear me. You're not failing. You're not falling behind. You're not less because you chose to stay close. The world may not hear your child yet, but your child hears you. Every word, every whisper, every time you say, I'm here, your child feels it. Even when they cannot say it back, they still feel it. You looked at the world that was not built for your child and you said, let's rebuild that world. And I am trying to rebuild it every single day with my bare hand. So one day the question will not be what is wrong with your child. It will be how do we support this child better? One day the world will learn that silence can carry meaning. That child who does not speak is not a child who has nothing to say. Until that day, we learn from the woman who walked before us. We lead the woman behind us. Do not have to fight this hard. We can lift each other, especially on the days when we feel too heavy to stand. Because behind every neurodivergent child, learning to navigate the world not built for them, there is a woman, actually, there is the entire family who would be the voice, the shield, the safe space. And for that woman and family is powerful beyond measure. So let's try to learn, lift each other, and help everyone grow. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Soumya, for sharing your inspiring, uplifting journey. Your perseverance through challenges and your commitment to growth truly reflect the spirit of give to. Sorry. This is your story really a silent story where putting into words that so many women silently carry. This was incredibly powerful that the way you described unseen battles, late nights, emotional weight, and the constant advocacy gave voice to something that is so rarely acknowledged. Your story reminds us that real strength is not always visible. It lives in the quiet, relentless effort of women who refuse to give up on their children, and even when the world does not understand. Thank you so much, Rajita.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you so much, Srinikaru.
now we have Dr. Sheila Srinivas. He's a gynecologist and also is a co-founder of CFIC. Thank you, Dr. Sheila Garu, for joining today, even though you are very busy with other commitments. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, Srinivas Garu, just one quick correction, not gynecology, gastroenterology.
Oh, sorry, gastroenterologist. I'm sorry. After 3 hours,
I know everyone has been so patient and I won't take too much time, but I would like to thank CFIC and also Srinivas Garu for, putting it together and a lot of inspiring stories. So I'm sure that from this and at least some of the women can be, inspired and get some strength, get the support from the, the families and as well as, the resources to reach out. They don't need to take it on their self. So thank you for doing this. I'm sure you're planning to do this every year and hopefully it can help for more women, next year and going forward. And just to introduce myself, I'm a gastroenterologist and I've been in Orlando for the last 20 years. And I will just try to focus on just the important issues that, for the Indians and as well as the Asians as a group. And so the important gastroenterology is a very broad subject and which involves esophagus, stomach, pancreas, liver, and as well as the colon. And the two important things we need to focus is one is the screening and the other one is the symptoms. The screening, the recent data, actually why we are more worried about the screening with the colorectal cancer is that's the second most common cause of death of the cancer in the United States. And the incidence is same, but both for male and female. So that's why it's important to focus on that. And also recent studies and the data has shown that incidence of the colon cancer is being increased, whereas compared to other cancers, it's decreasing. So that's very alarming, even with all the preventive things that what we are doing, and still the incidence is increasing. That's because most of the, the people are little bit scared and worried about the colonoscopy, so they don't want to do it. And so, but it's one of the cancer that's very easily preventable. When you diagnose at the early stages, it's completely curable. That's why it's important to, do the screening. In terms of the screening, the age limit right now is 45 and above. Anyone 45 and above, if it's a man, woman, anyone that can be should be screened at least one time. And nowadays, actually, we see much more even younger patients diagnosed with the colon cancer. And so, if you have the family history, you have to do it even sooner. That's very important. And seems like it's more related to dietary related, and because especially even us are more going towards the Western diet, and that's putting everyone more risk for the increasing risk of the colon cancer. And there are different tests that are offered all the time, but the colonoscopy is the gold standard. They do a lot of commercial with the other tests, fit tests, which is the genetic testing and other things, but that is to detect if you have the cancer or not. But you don't want to wait to see if you have the cancer or not. You want to prevent it from the going into the colon cancer. So that's very important to have a screening for anyone. And I know most of the especially Indian women are a little bit more concerned about having a colonoscopy with the male gastroenterologist, but most of the practices now have the female gastroenterologist. That's something if you are not comfortable with. And so just make sure everyone does the screening. And the next thing is the symptoms. Whenever if they have some symptoms like anemia, especially if it's not related to any OBGYN causes or anything, and you need to get evaluated. Either it could be from the colon or the stomach to see where the source of the bleeding, or if it's anything related to the cancer. And if they have any other symptoms like abdominal pain, constipation, and that's also a little bit more alarming depending upon the age and other comorbid conditions. So it's very important to get the attention of the physician right away. And lately we see a lot of patients with the Crohn's ulcerative colitis, and they do present with some diarrhea, blood in the stool, and everything. And there are a lot of new medications that are now available, and which can be completely the manageable, curable, and put the disease in remission. So if any of the one have any of those symptoms, then make sure that the do get the attention of the physician. And other thing is especially for Indian population, and they're very high risk for having hepatitis B and hepatitis C, and especially 18 and above. And you should be at least tested for one time to check, if they have any evidence of an hepatitis B or C. That's because especially the those days and the sterile techniques they were using in India, they were not using any the sterile syringes, and that was putting at risk for having the hepatitis C and hepatitis B. Both of them are very treatable, and the reason you want to make sure that you don't have it is if that puts at increased risk for the hepatocellular carcinoma, especially hepatitis B. So make sure that's screened at least one time. And nowadays, in all the children, when they are born, they do screen for hepatitis B. So that's a very good thing, and that's a kind of more prevention. And those are the most important things that you can focus on, the gastroenterology issues. And the diet is always plays a very important the role. And the Mediterranean diet is always the better in terms of to even the reducing the risk of heart disease, and as well as the inflammatory bowel disease, which contains Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. So it's very important to kind of the diet, exercise, it helps for everything. And also, as Neelima Katkuri was saying, for any atypical chest pain, obviously depending upon the age and everything, they want to get evaluated with to make sure that it's not related to the heart. And if it's not, it might be more related to increased acid reflux, and that also puts more risk for having Barrett's esophagus. So that puts at increased risk for esophageal cancer. So in general, I would recommend everyone to have a screening and test for hepatitis B, C, and colonoscopy. And if any symptoms, definitely get the attention. And we are always reachable. Srinivas Garu knows us if any of our community needs any help, and we try to help them right away. So please reach us if any issues. And also at the beginning, as Madhurima was saying, that inclusion is very important. Working together, both men and women. That's where most of the problems can be solved. Instead of going through all the the mental issues and everything, that can be easily solved if they can work together. And thank you, Srinivas Garu, for giving this opportunity. And good luck for everyone. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, Dr. Sila Srinivas Garu. Even though you are busy, you joined, and you made a lot of these gastroenterology problems. As you said, the colon cancer is now the number 2. It's elevated, and people needs to take care of that one, especially diet and early screening. It can be preventable. Thank you so much. So I think we are going to close in a few minutes. After hearing these powerful stories, I would like to read one poem. This poem is for every woman who carries more than we see. Even if I reach the moon and leave my footprints among the stars, even if the world applauds my journey, still somewhere on the earth, a girl is told her dreams are too big. Even if I sit in rooms of power, chair global institutions, shape economies with my words, still somewhere a woman's voice is not allowed to shape her own life. Even if I become the CEO of company worth billions, make decisions that move markets, still somewhere a girl child is told that leadership is not meant for her. Even if I build a company through sleepless nights and courage, create thousands of jobs, and open doors for many, still somewhere a daughter is never allowed to see the light of the day. And even if I work tirelessly at home, walking before everyone else, waking before everyone else, cooking, caring, guiding, holding everything together, still in some homes, my work is unseen. Still in some homes, I am called jobless. Still in some homes, my worth is questioned, my strength taken for the granted. Still somewhere, a woman risks her life to bring another life into the world. She lies in a hospital bed, fighting pain and fear, bringing life into this world, a life she will nurture with love and sacrifice. Yet, somewhere, that same woman is silenced, harmed, even killed inside the very home she helped to build. Still somewhere, a girl's life ends before it even begins. Still somewhere, freedom is limited, voices are ignored, and dignity is denied. And yet, we rise. We rise in classrooms, in workplaces, in homes and communities. We rise in courage, in resilience, in quiet strength that refuses to disappear. We rise when women support women. When we rise when girls are encouraged to dream. We rise when communities choose equality. Because every time a woman rises, a barrier breaks. Every time woman speaks, history listens. And every time we stand together across generations, we learn, we lead, we lift, until the day comes when no girl is denied a future, no woman walks in fear, and equality is not promise, but a reality. Until then, we rise again and again, we rise. Thank you. And if anybody wants to talk from the audience, if you have any questions, you can put it here. And this session is recorded, and we wanted to thank you all the participants, all the panelists, and also moderator Dr. Attorney Paturi, because she got some other appointment with the Zoom call, and that's why she left. And thank you all for your busy schedules you joined today. If anybody wants to talk, please. Aruna Silagar, please mute yourself. Aruna Silagar, please.
Hello, Srinivas Garu. Thank you, Andy. It was very nice session. I enjoyed in between. Actually, I had to say I missed some of it. I was going to ask if you can send the video of the recording. I would like to listen to the rest of it too. But it was very inspiring. And first of all, I want to say Happy Women's Day to everyone. Thank you, Andy, Srinivas Garu, for organizing everything. And it is so inspiring to hear all the stories and how they survived and how they came up, and people are helping, and like organizations like yours and other people. It's so inspiring to hear. First of all, I was hesitant if I should be joining because I will be living in the middle and stuff like that, but I put it on like low voice, and then I finished my thing and then came back again. But I was so happy to be part of it. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Aruna Garu. Thank you so much. So, anybody? Meena Garu? Dr. Uttaji, one more, the last to you as a senior, in all generations also, and as a senior, here in America. Do you want to share your thoughts for our next generation kids? You are on mute.
Thank you, Srini. This was such an interesting meeting and such an inspiring talk from everyone. And believe me, I learned a lot as far as sharing thoughts with the younger generation. I think we have today generation of young mothers who are going to guide the students, the young children, in the right fashion. I have no doubt about it. The attendees at the meeting and the speakers really are proof of that. And in fact, your arranging such a wonderful meeting also is proof of what the new generation is getting and what we hope they will achieve. It's also a great inspiration to the young girls that they can reach for the stars, that there is no glass ceiling anymore, that they're just as good as boys. So I think it's overall a very inspiring scenario for everyone. And thank you again.
Thank you, Uttaji, for your guidance and your suggestions. Thank you so much. And this is just beginning of doing this on behalf of CFIC, International Women's Day. Next year, we are going to arrange a very big in-person session, actually, to include all other associations also, because there are a lot of events happening in city, but we wanted to do one very big one to participate, to include everybody, to do in 2027, a big International Women's Day. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating. Happy International Day, Women's Day again. Thank you all.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, somebody, I think, who? Santaram Garu?
Santaram, yes.
Yes, Santaram Garu, please. Please,
Yeah,
can you please talk?
Yeah, this is Santaram Nalam Shetty. I'm a pediatrician. I've been in Orlando for more than 30 years. And thanks to Srinivas and his team in the CFIC for arranging this session this morning. I was glued to the phone all the time. I enjoyed the speakers. I enjoyed the advices given by the variant specialists. And as a pediatrician, also, I recommend that all the mothers with the younger children get them vaccinated, get them protected, get them screened for preventable communicable diseases, and get the early checkups. And every year they should be checked up. And for those children, mothers with challenged mental status children, use the facilities, use the services available in the United States. There are lots of services available for mentally challenged and special children available. Talk to your pediatrician, get their referrals like ABA therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy. And there are schools which deals with only the mentally challenged children. So to try to get them involved in those schools where they have an environment where the staff is really trained to deal with those kind of children. So the mothers are highly appreciated in this, and sometimes they both parents are to be appreciated with mentally challenged children for going through the burden. So the community should support them. And Srinivas is CFIC is there to guide you or get you help. And so get the services available for those kind of special children. So once again, get them screening test done at all ages and get vaccinated to prevent preventable diseases. And thanks to CFIC and Srinivas for the great presentation today. I enjoyed every moment of it. And for those mothers who came out of this abuse and fought for their right, fought for their protection, fought for their families and children, kudos to them. So never get scared to fight for your rights. God bless all of us. And thanks once again, Srinivas, for conducting this session. We appreciate your CFIC and the services you are rendering in and around Central Florida. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shantaram Garu. So he's, he has been in our Central Florida community since so many years. He's almost veteran, living here. So thank you, and thanks for always, whenever anybody needs any help from our community, with one call, he is available to guide, parents about the children's health and those guidance. Thank you so much for your support, Dr.
Thank you.
Shantaram Garu.
Always available 24/7.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So
Thank you.
I'm sorry, anybody wants to
Yeah,
say
Srinivas Garu.
who?
My name is Satya Andi.
Nice.
I'm a physician. I work at Advent Health South as a hospitalist.
Sure.
I'm incredibly impressed. First of all, happy Women's Day to everyone. And putting it together and such incredible stories, and really it's the great service. And definitely I endorse every physician speech which was discussed this morning. And yeah, definitely I encourage everyone to get primary care physicians, because in the hospital setting we do see a lot of people, they still don't have the primary care physicians. Getting physicals on a regular basis, and encouraging everyone to be vaccinated and follow all the preventive measures. I think this is very, very important. And I really appreciate you bringing out the mental health awareness and the issues of domestic violence. I really, really appreciate Srinivas Garu. I think your services are incredible, and I'm so fortunate to be part of this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Satya Garu. I will connect with you. You can, message me. So definitely what you suggested is, need to have a primary care and get all the vaccinations, and early checkups are very important to keep up the health. So
Thank you,
anybody
Andy.
wants to talk? If everybody is done, then we can, one more time, thank you all, and happy Women's Day. Thank you. We are closing the session.